I was thinking like he said I was far away.
Oh my Jesus.
So what if I sit all the way back here and I got it dialed in? Is it still like, does this work or is it still just as bad as before when I had it dialed way back?
At least it's true to your height. Now people truly understand how small you are in person.
You're such a hater.
If you were that far away from the camera on January 6th, you would have gotten in less trouble.
That's not true. You're a hater, Russo. Big time hater, bro.
How low is your camera that you have to bend over to be in frame?
It's not low. I got the angle all messed up, but it's because it works better the way I have my camera, but Free always makes me dial it in. So I'm like, it is what it is. But you know what you hating off, Russo? It's because you're tall, but you don't have the body that I have, even though I'm only 5'8". My body, crushing you. You see how my shirts fit compared to yours? You know
I don't know. I think we're competing a little bit these days.
I don't think so.
You remember the
what is that?
He was sending us via pictures? Like,
what is that, Russo? What are you even talking about? That's an arm, dog. That's an arm. You don't have an arm.
I mean, it is an arm. It's an arm, but shorter. Anyways, go ahead.
Free, it's all you, buddy.
Welcome, everybody. Welcome to the final episode of The Truth Will Set You Free. After 216 episodes, countless conversations, and years of diving deep into issues that matter, we're here for one more time. Not just the topics that they've covered, but this is about the journey itself. So tonight we're going to do something different. Instead of another round of debate, analysis, and breaking down the latest news, we're taking a step back to reflect on what the show has meant to everyone, to the hosts, to the audience, and to you, the viewers who have been with them through the start. I'm Free. You can tell by my name tag for Russo. I have the honor of guiding this conversation tonight. I've been both a big fan of this show and at times a collaborator. And more importantly, I've had the privilege of knowing these guys behind the scenes, Casey, Cash, Anthony, and then you guys added the amazing Emily. And I know you not just as the voices of the show, but also as friends. So I wanted to help tell your story, to capture the history of this incredible project, and to give you guys a chance to share of what it's been like from the inside. Because it wasn't just a show. It was a movement, a platform for truth, and a place where people could speak freely in a world that often discourages that and punishes it. So tonight, we're going to pull back the curtain. We'll talk about how it all started, the moments that defined the show, the highs and the lows, the guests who left a mark, and the legacy Truth Will Set You Free leaves behind. And of course, we'll also hear from the three that made it happen and Emily. And we want to hear from you as well. So be active in the chat. Let them know how you feel about them and the show, and tell us how you feel. So let's dive in.
Go ahead, Russo.
Me. Well, anyways, I apologize for my voice to start. My throat's a little rough, but it does sound better than yesterday. Yesterday, as Kelly put it, I sounded like RFK. All I needed to do was talk about the Food and Drug Administration and seed oils, and you'd have been like, that's RFK. But yeah, so this show, did he really just say hello, ladies? Seriously?
He did. He said that.
Fitting. No, we're back. I've done one show since I stopped. We're gonna have Emily coming up in a second. We might have some more special guests later on. The intention of the show from essentially day one was, and I'll talk about kind of where we got to where we are right now, but the intention of the show from the very beginning was for me, honestly, to vent about everything going on. And what's very cool to me is I've seen people actually evolve their belief systems that are people that were very ingrained in believing one direction. I remember specifically people like Misty and some of the other healthcare practitioners that have decided that what they originally believed, just because recommendations and all the stuff surrounding the jab and the medical practice, people have realized it was the beginning of uncovering the fact that we are typically fed lies. So it started out with me wanting to vent. I remember I went online for 2.5 hours to talk in March of 2020 about the fact that holy crap, does anybody else see what's going on? Like, this is a mind control situation. We can't trust our government. It's great that Casey now has America versus the government as his moniker, because that really is what it was. It's a bunch of Americans that are against each other. They've started to divide each other, when in all reality, the reason why we're divided is because of all the lies, which is where truth came from. It didn't take very long, and then I did an episode with Aaron and Curtis. We're talking about everything surrounding George Floyd. And it's like 2020 was such a pivotal point in this country because of all the major news that happened. So that's really where it came from. And then I was blessed to my friend Caroline Oberst sent me, this is where I'll end the intro. She sent me a message with Cash's video in it, and said, you should connect with this guy. And it was the video of him saying, when are black lives going to matter to black people? And in all reality, we wouldn't be here. I still wouldn't be doing this, that we wouldn't be at this point without that connection and without us meeting, because I was just kind of doing it just to have a conversation, to bring stuff up. And I remember the first time that Aaron and Curtis and I did the George Floyd show, and we had 50 live viewers, and it was like, oh my gosh, I can't believe 50 people are actually watching us. And right now 175 are. And during some of the actual election process, we got up over 10,000 live viewers at a time. But then all of a sudden we had Cash come on the show. I messaged him. Somehow he messaged me back. I'm sure we can tell that story. Cash, I'll let you do that when we get there. But he messaged me back, and he came on the show, and I just remember sitting there. I remember my mom actually being in the other room, and my friend Kylie on Messenger, and the numbers were like 100 people watching, 275 people watching, 500 people watching, 1,000 people watching, 1,500. And I'm like, and this was all in the first minute of the show, and this is where you could still go viral as a conservative show. Anyways, it kind of went from there, and then Cash and I became fast friends, and then people just kept blowing up my messenger being like, you should have Casey Rasmussen on the show. Casey. I'm like, who the fuck is Casey? So all of a sudden, obviously that happened. January 6th happened. We lost Cash for a couple of years, and then we came to the end. And then here we are. But I'll give some of my reasons for it. And I do want to be clear that this isn't the end of Be the Change and Truth Will Set You Free. Actually, it's probably more of the re-begin of the Be the Change angle behind it. And we'll still do, like, first off, Casey, Emily, Cash, and Free still do a crap load of political stuff, as I'll do some, but it'll be one-off content. Or if we go to war, we'll probably all be doing a live, but Truth Will Set You Free Tuesdays, as we know it, this is the last episode. Cash, go ahead.
Well, for me, I mean, honestly, even though, I appreciate you, Russo, I really do. You giving me the props, bro. But real talk, I wouldn't be where I am without all of you guys, because you may not know this, Russo, but you helped develop me as a social media influencer. Because, I was going live, but I didn't have any concept of a show until I did your show, and the way me and Russo ended up connecting, right, was I seen a message, and I was always looking for my friend that I was locked up with. We met in juvenile DOC, right? His name was Michele Russo. So when I seen Russo pop up in the comment section or in a message, I'm trying to get through all these messages from people, and I see Russo, and I'm like, yo, because I couldn't remember his first name, right? So I'm like, yo, I think this is my guy Russo. So I hit him back. And then I was like, oh, this ain't him. This is some other white guy. And then we hit it off. He's like, bro, will you come on my show? And I'm like, yeah, that's cool. I'll come on your show. I was doing all kind of people's radio shows and podcasts. I'm like, yeah, I'll come on there. But like he said, we hit it off. And then he had this real amazing show that he was a part of called Biscuits and Gravy, which was my entertainment. I always tuned in to Biscuits and Gravy after that. And then I met all these other guys. Curtis, I met, Dr. Frank? Yeah, Dr. Frank, rest in peace. And just a plethora of people, man. And it just developed. It just became this thing. It's like, okay, people now are expecting Cash to go live, and it'd be kind of like a show setting. So I was watching a ton of Russo stuff and seeing how he did it, and then merging it with my own style. So you're actually responsible for a lot of the stuff that came out after I started this thing, man. So it was a team effort, and then Rasmussen, Casey, when he came in, so this is the thing. Me and Casey really got real close while I was locked up. This brother was there for me like every single step of the way, every book that I wanted, whatever I needed done, he's like, I got you, and then obviously both of these brothers, along with Sunni, tried to carry the page along, while I was locked up. Some did better than others, but it's a thing. So these are my people. And coming home, they've been instrumental. Right now, the only reason I got 4 monitors in front of me, and I got the tower that I got, right? The tower that I got it's a custom built, by the way. I know that lady from New York said that black people don't know how to work computers, but I have become really tech savvy thanks to Mr. Casey. So Casey's been like on my side every step of the way since I've gotten home. They're my brothers, and then obviously Free came into the picture now. And me and him hit it off. We just go real well together on lives. It's dope when we do a show. It's just amazing. And then Emily is the brains. And that's just a fact. She's the smartest one, which is crazy to say because she's a woman. But she is. She's the smart. She's fantastic, man. And I was really excited about doing Truth when I got home. But I noticed that it had changed. And Russo, you told me some of the struggles. You're like, bro, it's not like how it was, when I remember what I said, when I get home, watch, we're going to be viral once again. When we go live, we're going to have thousands of people watching once again. And it just hasn't been that, not all the time. Sometimes I get it. Sometimes I don't. More often I don't, because it's just rebuilding. I'm still rebuilding, but Truth it's like our baby, it's our thing. And I just got to say, the only reason that Truth isn't going forward, and I'm going to hand it off, and I appreciate everybody for being here through this whole little journey since, 2020 onward. But the only reason that Truth is ending, I'm going to throw it out there. I can't be a part of a place where I'm always getting sexually harassed and racial slurs. And it's toxic. It's a toxic environment. So I will be filing suit. And, so, I'm joking. Go ahead.
Says the guy that just committed toxic masculinity and said a woman couldn't
Emily
be
knows
the
I'm
brains
joking.
of the show.
Emily knows I'm joking.
Emily
Jeez. Huh?
I said Cash always gets a pass from me. The minorities stick together.
That's right. That's what I'm talking about. I love you, Emily. You're all right.
Wait until the white liberals hear that. That's going to be clipped and put everywhere. Great job, Cash.
But
But
so
no.
Emily, you were the latest addition. How did you come into the mix, and how did you find out about the show? Tell us about how you discovered this.
So I got in the mix through Anthony and his girlfriend Kelly. So Kelly and I were kind of neighbors. We live about 5 minutes apart, and I've known Kelly probably, since I moved to Texas eight years ago now, just in the horse community here. And she would see my social media and how political I was. And one day just messaged and said, hey, would you be interested in just jumping on and talking about your travels? Because she had been kind of following around what I've posted about my travels. So I originally just did the show once to kind of talk about traveling and really my experiences in Russia, and then just kept joining.
So I want to talk about the evolution of the show. How has this show changed from 2020 when you started until now? Let's just go in order. Anthony, what do you think?
Did we do did Casey do his intro yet?
No,
Did
not
we
yet.
skip Casey's
Oh, sorry,
intro?
Casey.
It's okay. I need a name tag. So I'll get
I
Burn right back at you.
You were mentioned. I glossed over.
Well, you know what? Before you do it, it's very fitting because there's so many times during a show when it gets like really fast and heated where everybody's like, where Casey is sitting, he's like,
yeah, my bro.
It was only fitting, but Casey, go ahead.
I blame Eric. He called me professional in the chat, so I had to screw something up right off the bat.
Is that what it was? No, the thing that's hilarious is Russo was talking about when I came around back in August 2020. I had to look this up because Free asked me just before we started the show. I saw that the show went around on Facebook, and I'm like, I need to be on the show. And so I just I shared it. I was in the comments like, put me on the show, because I'm listening to these guys try to talk about politics. They don't know what the hell they're talking about. Like they need a libertarian to come in or really show them what we're talking about when it comes to government and where we need to draw the line. And look at them now. You can get both of them to say, Cash and Russo, to say that they're more libertarian than they were back then. And that is exactly what we have done. And I don't care about labels or the party stuff anymore.
But it's all more conservative, by the way.
Yeah, I'm about to say it works both ways.
You're more conservative than you were libertarian.
100%.
That still hasn't changed.
Your libertarian friends even say
it. But no, when it comes down to this, the great thing about the show and everything that we've put together over the years, we have shown that it doesn't matter your political views. We can bring people from other places. We can have civil discussions and we can understand where people are coming from. And that's the whole basis of Be the Change. And that's what drove me with this, is because there was so much division between red or blue. And then I'm coming around. I'm like, I need on this show because I'm going to be in the middle and we're going to see how this works out. I made a lot of enemies at first because a lot of people didn't like me because I hated Trump. The decisions he was making was pissing me off and wasn't really doing it. But now we're starting to come around and we're seeing the fruits of the labor of starting to understand when we listen to each other and have a civil discussion, we can start compromising and moving forward in this country. And these things are what's so amazing about doing stuff like this.
You know what's real dope about it all too, just to piggyback real quick, is you brought a bunch of a bunch of libertarians to the circle, like to the audience. Russo brought a ton of conservatives and LGBTQ members, and I brought a whole bunch of, you know, people that like to talk stuff about Black conservatives to the table. Like they followed, you know, so it's just great audience. And Emily, obviously, she attracted just a whole bunch of guys with feet fetishes.
That'll be my.
I ain't gonna forget about those comments. Yeah. You remember, I had to check the guy in the comments. It's crazy. It's crazy. It's insane.
All right, Free. What was the question again?
So the question was, does anybody want to hear from Casey? Oh, no, wait, that wasn't the question. The question was, how has the show evolved from where you guys started the first few episodes in 2020 to now?
So, okay, when we going back, the way that Truth Will Set You Free and Be the Change started was actually rooted in the fact that I started Be the Change in 2017, I believe, was when there was the police shooting in Dallas, Texas. So the idea behind it was the fact that when those police officers were killed, I found that there was this moment. I had like a Jerry Maguire middle of the night moment where I wrote this post after a bunch of police officers were killed protecting people that were protesting against them. And I was like, we have a massive disconnect in this country. And as a two-time Obama voter, actually, what am I talking about? This is 2016, because Obama was still president. And I could have started the post better, but I started with fuck Obama. And that was probably a little too aggressive of a hook point. But I said this whole thing, and really everything after that was rooted in the fact that we need to stop thinking that our leadership in this country is what controls the way we handle people and the way we have forgotten about the golden rule. So I didn't know what I was going to do with Be the Change. Fast forward to 2020. And in the beginning, it was all about having a conversation. And I saw somebody post, the best thing about the show has been you and the open, honest discussions. I agree. And honestly, if we had a producer, if we had people working, and the whole root and cause would be to every episode have people that disagree on with us, I would do this every day of the week. And I guarantee you, we'd be much bigger. The problem is the left is not a fan when they're faced with people on the right that are articulate. They'll find, just like the TV shows, they'll go find and they'll talk to the lowest common denominator of the Republican Party, that are the ones that have their sleeves cut off, that have very, very low IQs, and they're from small towns. Not that they're bad people, but they don't have the education or the intelligence to fight back against a polished leftist reporter. So the idea from the beginning was to always bring people on. And as we brought some people on, which to this day, who we decimated, unfortunately, but decimated on a live show with kindness, but we just made them look foolish because logic wasn't on their side. They unfortunately, by the way, still think that they won the show, which is absolutely mind-boggling. They were like, I held my own. But the idea was to have those conversations. And then it just became an informational show. And I think that was also fun because we were able to highlight the news, and it gave people a warm place to realize they weren't alone in their belief of logic. At the same token, what I have noticed, and there were some trials and tribulations along the way, like when Cash went away. I'll never forget this. When Cash got arrested, when he ended up turning himself in for January 6th and all this stuff, I
became a racist
ski trip. I'll never forget this. I got the leftist horde doesn't bother me. And I said horde, not whore. The leftist horde doesn't bother me when they talk shit. But when our own side does, that's what just makes my blood boil. So Cash goes to jail. I'm on a snowboarding trip where I'm literally like pinching my pennies, but I had it all planned. And I'm getting hate mail from our side saying, oh, I see. You're taking all the money from Cash's whatever, and you're going on a vacation snowboarding. I'm like, I've had a job. Like, I make my own money, you dipshits. So it was a lot of, like, there was stuff throughout the years that just eventually ate at me. And it wasn't people are like, how do you handle the left telling you that you're white trash or an insurrectionist or dumb? I'm like, because it's stupid. Now, when the people that follow you on the right become assholes, that's what always hurt me. But it was death by a million paper cuts by the end of it. And ultimately, when it came to November 6th, I'd like to believe that there was a little impact made by what we did on the election. And I think that all of us, like collectively, I always give one perfect example. I saw this one woman that I'm friends with, Alexandra, who in 2020, we had this drop down, drag out fight on text or whatever about Trump and how terrible he was and how I'm horrible and I can't, all this stuff. And then I see her wearing a Trump shirt on this election. And I'm like, what happened? She's like, I still don't like him, but he was the better choice. And I realized that over time, if somebody sees factual information, it could have been once from me, once from Cash, once from Emily, Free, Casey, and then something on news that they saw or something on somebody else's page. So although we can't quantify the effect that we had on this country or the election, we can realize that we were part of a touch point. And there was times where there's hundreds of thousands of people watching that have watched an episode, or on social media. There's times where people look at things and go, oh, wow. And they share it. Like we've all got a couple videos that have done 100,000, 1 million. I just had a video the other day do 1.5 million views. I don't know how, except for the fact that Zuckerberg probably actually did release the algorithm. But like, we were part of a touch point that brought some sense back to America. And on November 6th, all of a sudden I felt a collective sigh, and I don't know what happened. I just stopped caring. Kelly knows just as much about politics as I do right now. I still watch on occasion. There's little things here and there. I could tell you I was at the Super Bowl. I got chills down my spine during the national anthem when Donald Trump's photo came up, or they showed him and the whole crowd cheered. And I was like, fuck yeah. So it really is. And last thing, I know I'm being super long-winded. I haven't talked on this in a long time, but when Cash went away and the letters for Cash, when they were trying to do character letters and everybody writing in and all the great letters he got, there was a few, and you realize your impact, and people will go, well, what if there's only 100 people watching? Or what if there's only 1,000 people watching? But there was several people that wrote an email or wrote a message that said, without watching our show, they felt so alone. They'd been alienated by their families. They thought that they were going to lose the country, all this stuff. And just watching some of our humor and watching some of what we put out there and realizing they weren't alone kept them from killing themselves. Yeah. And you know what? That if I'm going to look back at the most important things that I did, it's going to be those letters talking about Cash and I doing that. And also the fact that I know what Cash has got the power to do moving forward, specifically after watching him speak on a stage a couple weeks ago on the video, knowing that I had a little piece from a political aspect of seeing where Cash will go. And of course, just allowing this to be a thing for everybody. But the fact that Cash is in front of people, getting asked by politicians, schools, and the ability to speak and actually have a voice to create that kind of change and probably have a voice politically for the next several years. That was the original intention of Be the Change, and Truth Will Set You Free. And that's where we are right now.
Yeah, I was going to ask Cash, you did shows, then you went away, and then you've come back and, you've hit it hard and you've returned stronger than ever. What do you think's changed about the show, and what did the show mean to you while you were in jail?
Oh man. What the show meant to me, I mean, everything. It was a part of something that we all started to build, even though this show was actually built by Anthony, but it felt like all of ours once we really like catapulted it and it really started to gain some traction and momentum. It became something that people look forward to every week. Like every Tuesday, you knew you was going to be able to tune in. When I was locked up, a lot of people that wrote me were telling me like they received updates from Truth to Set You Free. Like they did special episodes dedicated to letting people know what was going on with me in there. And it just felt good to know like I'm being remembered, and I'm seeing it in the letters that my bros are still out there keeping me relevant, while I'm away. And it was everything, man. And then also helping to keep my algorithm from completely dying, because they posted the show on my YouTube channel. So it didn't completely fade away. So that it's that, but to see what it evolved into coming home and seeing, I ain't gonna forget this. I gotta say it because it made me feel good. Russo was telling me how they were having struggling numbers, right? And when I got home and people realized that I was home, that show did numbers. And he was like, wow, we haven't seen numbers like this since you went away. And it made me feel good again, even though it wasn't nowhere near what the numbers that we had. Like we were doing numbers back in the day, bro. Big numbers, right? And to see it just start, it gave me my motivation and my hope to be like, okay, I could do this. Once people realize that I'm home, they're going to switch back on and it's going to be there, And it's getting there, but it evolved. I went back and watched a lot of the shows. Like I skimmed through them to see just to watch in real time how it evolved. So I went and watched some past shows and I was like, oh God. On some of them, I was like, oh my God, what are they doing? And then on some of them, I'm like, dang. And in real time, when you watch them, you know who you see evolve? Casey, I've watched Casey like blossom into this. Like this brother is gonna, I'm telling you right now, Casey's gonna be a huge voice. He already is, right? But he's gonna be like this voice that people go to and know that you could trust what he's gonna tell you. And it's gonna be informative. And he's got the capability to like get his point across. And it's funny when he gets mad about it, because then it's just like, it just adds a little more character to him. Because I always think of Casey, used to when he was doing shows, it's like, okay, he's like white people potato salad, he's got no flavor. But now this brother then put the sauce on and he's got his own swag on his shows. Like he's blossomed into a content creator, and it's dope because we all started together. You know what I mean? And then see Russo taking off. This dude's on Fox News and he's doing rodeos and he's all the little things that he's into, the speaking engagements and teaching people how to speak actually helped me out. I used some of his points when I was on stage, and just watching, and seeing Emily, we already know, Emily, you're going to be a bright star if you want to be on any kind of show, because you're intelligent, free, the best moderator in the world. It's connected people. So the show has literally, for me, it's connected people. It's brought people together and created some long lasting friendships and maybe potential opportunities in the future. It sparked a lot of people's minds. I've seen a lot of, in 2020, when this thing started, I used my platform to help create platforms. That was one of my things. I like to share people's stuff out. I like to bring people on and introduce them. And I'm trying to get back into that, like bringing people on and just seeing platforms grow. And these brothers kept that same trend alive when I went away. They brought random people on that they felt could be a voice and could possibly have a platform, whether it ended good or it ended bad or whatever, they still did it. And that's another part of this show that I feel was important, was giving people a voice that, you know, whether it was on the left or on the right, just introducing them to the audience and saying, here, check this person out. You know, so this show has been impactful, you know, and it's taught me a lot. It's gave me a lot of drive, especially coming home. You see, I've progressed a lot since when I first started doing this, learning color schemes and, you know, point of views from the camera, shoot on the shadow side, you know, lighting, all of that. I've just learned. And all of that, again, sparks from initially starting with these brothers. So it's dope, man.
By the way, shout out to Rachel Altman. She was one of the other, her and Emily battle, if you were to say, from Level of Intelligence. But Rachel Altman is, she's been working in DC. She's worked for Rand Paul, and she's become a fellow at some of the bigger places. She is actually dating. She was in the presidential convoy and in the front row during the inauguration. She's dating JD Vance's chief of staff. So she's actually become a pretty big deal in DC and will continue to, probably not just because she's dating him, but because of her own abilities and intelligence. So it's kind of, we've had some people that have actually gone on and kind of done some big stuff. So it's been neat to see.
So Casey,
hold on. Let's people always ask this. Cash still does some stuff with Suni, I think. I don't know. Does anybody want to answer this question?
Yeah.
Suni was on the 200th episode too. So.
Suni, that's my homegirl. Me and Suni still collab. She's trying to rebuild her momentum over on TikTok because she got a larger audience over there, but she still posts on Instagram, and she's ready to work. She already done told me and her got some things in the works right now, actually. We just ain't been promoting it because we're not ready to launch it. But Suni, that's my homegirl. You know, me and Suni always going to be doing something, you know, whether we sharing each other's reels or we collaborate on something, but we have something that we're trying to set up to where it's just a regular thing, like how we do Truth to Set You Free, where me and her and a couple other people, I'm not going to say no names yet, come on and we do a show. And I got a couple other shows that I'm working on myself to keep lined up. So I'm trying to bring you guys more content live with more of the people that you know from the past, and bringing it in, you know, bringing it in and dialing it in. And then I'm trying to give you guys some long form content that's not live, that's pre-recorded and edited because I'm working on my editing skills. So I got some things in the works for you guys. Don't trip. We ain't going far. Me and Casey are still going to be doing shows together. Me and Free are still going to be doing shows together. Emily, anytime you want to do a show, we're always here. Like, this is the squad. It's just Truth to Set You Free is not set for Tuesdays anymore. That's all. It might come back. You never know. Anything could happen. We could be like, okay, we're saying this is the last episode, and then 2 weeks down the line, we're like, hey, let's do a Truth. We need to talk about this. You never know. But right now, we're just trying to make it not a priority to stick to while we're all building separate things. But it's still underneath the Truth to Set You Free umbrella, to be the change. Like, we're focusing on other things right now to try to grow this thing. It needs to blow up. It needs to be bigger than what it is. And if it is that important to you guys, you know, and I feel that it is, then help us out. Share our stuff, you know, whatever platform you're watching from, get the word out and let people know, like, yo, you need to check these guys out. Casey does an amazing, informative show. Free does amazing shows. Emily, you creating shows yet, Emily? Or are you just doing this one for now?
I've just been doing this one, but I would love to join anytime you guys want me, because this is like the keeping me sane, because I don't have many friends that like to talk in depth about this stuff, and I would drive them if I only talk to them. So I love getting to chat with you guys, and I'd be happy to
say less. I got you. I'm gonna bring you in then. I'm gonna bring you into what I'm working on, you know, if you'd like to be a part of it. So see, you guys, you're not losing everybody. It's just Russo that's abandoning you. It's not the rest of us. Go ahead.
And by the way, Emily, you have access to the page. If you ever want to do a Mangione rant, MAGA Mangione rant, you can do that. That's yours. You go. You've got free reign to do whatever you want on the page. The only person that's really ever gotten truly punished badly was Kevin. So
Russo's got our page down a few times, but he won't mention it.
I did. There was, you couldn't share the one thing that got us the worst. It's still a mark on the page is when I shared a quote by the FDA that said about the children and the jab. I literally shared a factual quote that's what got us in trouble. Funny enough. So
everybody in the chat, I think that because Russo only said that he didn't want to do political stuff. So I think that everybody in the chat needs to pressure Russo to have a fun day of coming on and talking about whatever it is that we talk about. that's fun. It could be anything, just like this. We're talking about memories, but we could talk about movies. We could talk about whatever. It doesn't always got to be politics. But Russo, you need to keep showing your face on here, bro, because you become a part of we're the three amigos, right? And we've grown. Now we're the cinco amigos. But
go ahead. Finish.
Yeah, don't you cut off a black man, okay? I'm gonna be liberal right now. Don't you ever overtalk a black man, okay? I'm just kidding. No, but for real, bro, you need to stay on here with us, man. Doing something, anything, just one time a week.
I add my positivity content that I do. Here's the thing: the Tuesday shows are because there's 200 and what is this 216?
16. Yep.
It's 216. Out of that 216, that remember there was the summer after the Uvalde thing that I was like, I need time off, and when I gave the reins up, it lasted a couple weeks, and then it was like, it's like herding cats. It's very difficult. So out of those 216, I would say that 195 of them I did. And now when I said to Cash and Casey, I go, keep doing it. Like if I ever pop on, I'll pop on. Now the fact that they're no longer doing it, they're blaming it on me, when in all reality, they're realizing to do a regular Tuesday show is not easy. It's a chore. So, and it is fun at times, but next thing you know, it was only about 15 episodes, and now the show is coming to a close because it's a bitch. It's not totally fun all the time.
Russo, I got an idea, bro. Just hear me out, and this is for everybody, right? Because this comment that just came up, I'm a huge wrestling fan, all right? Huge WWE fan. Can we just come on and just do one show dedicated to talking about wrestling? Just once a week. It could be on a Saturday, because that way we get Monday Night Raw and we got Friday Night SmackDown that we could talk about on Saturday and talk about the events that took place and what we feel is going to happen moving forward. I've been wanting to do that. I've been talking about it since prison. I'm like, I'm going to get out and I'm going to do my own wrestling show because I love wrestling. And nobody likes wrestling like I like wrestling, so I don't think you guys are going to be on board with it, but you should be.
Cash, the last time you said something about Raw on Friday and a SmackDown on Monday, you ended up having another baby. So let's just try to pump the brakes a little bit.
Yo, that was good, except you messed up. It's Friday night SmackDown and Monday Night Raw. But you got it. You did. That was good. That was witty, but you didn't pay attention to the details of the day that the show falls on.
It's research. He doesn't do that anymore.
He doesn't. He does not.
None.
He sends us a text and I reply and I tell him he's an idiot. So
it's true. It's true. Somebody said it's those peptides. That's funny.
So
anyways, Free, go ahead.
Yeah. So, I want to say that, I think of this as a celebration. You guys all have very strong voices, intelligence, unique takes on things, and you're putting it out there in different ways. And like you said, doesn't take away the possibility of bringing it back together when necessary. But I think it's cool that you've all found unique voices and, are doing things and putting out more content than just Tuesdays. So I don't know if anybody noticed, but Casey joined. So I'm going to actually ask Casey a question this time. And so I cut you off once, Russo cut you off once. Cash, it's your turn next. But all right, so Casey, speaking of unique views, I asked about the journey of the show, but for you personally, I think you've really come into your own. Cash touched on this. You've really developed a unique voice where you're taking your superpowers with research and analysis and technology and bringing it together and doing, in-depth dives. Talk about your journey, both as part of the show and yourself personally.
Yeah. It's interesting because I've said this in Russo's speaking class. Like I hated talking to cameras. I feel like the camera is taking my soul. You can ask my wife, Emily, like I've said that many times. I don't like them. I don't like it. But the thing that blended for me is I've always loved politics. I was raised with my family teaching me to get engaged in politics and teaching me that the government hates you. They're never your friend. Like this is a problem. To having some very strong Republican views for my parents, and that's okay. But I've learned a lot in the sense that the red and blue side is what's being made up for us to make us pick and choose. And then when I saw this show, I was like, wait, these guys got it all wrong. And so I had to get on here and I had to be able to explain it. And it was challenging, I will say, but thankfully it was.
What did we have wrong?
What did you have wrong?
We agreed on almost everything.
No, you almost voted for RFK.
Yeah.
I like RFK. I think a lot of the country voted for RFK. That's why they voted for Trump.
No, majority of the country voted for Doge, and then Trump second. That's what was voted for.
You're a hater.
No, and when I say wrong is everybody was like, no, the right, the left, the right. And I'm like, the government is making you argue like this. That is what they're doing. And so someone had to come in to highlight that, because you guys always had liberal Jay Kennedy, my favorite person to argue with on Facebook, because he still can do it in a polite manner. Sometimes we got at each other's throats, but it was still out of good intentions. We were just having fun with it. And we had respect.
Yeah. Jay Kennedy's a really good dude. We've had some other liberals on the show. I hate to say, not liberals. We've had some other leftists on the show that I cannot say. Some of them I still to this day can't stand. I'll be totally honest.
But overall, with the growth, it forced me to step out of my comfort zone, talk to this thing and all of you on the internet. And I fell in love with it. I love telling everybody on how bad the government is. The government is not your friend. I don't care if you voted for the administration that's there. They're not your friend. And people need to hear that. And that's the message I'm going to keep pushing. That's why I'm wearing my They Both Suck shirt today, because they do. And I think overall, like, if we could start pushing that message that the government is forcing all of this divisiveness, we can start realizing we don't hate our citizens. We actually are seeing the single point that is dividing all of us.
I like that. I just want to compliment Emily's chair, Emily, and your background. The background is really nice. I love the color scheme. But that chair that you got right there, huh? Great minds think alike? Ah, yeah. Does yours got the massager?
The reason you see my shoulders moving is I got the lower back massager on right now.
I feel you. It's secretly beyond, and I don't. That's good. You got the same chair. That's dope.
Cash got that chair
so I do have. He's gone.
You know why Cash got that chair with the low back massager? It reminded him of prison. He didn't. When he got home, he needed to be reminded, just like it was the showers.
Remind him of Lily, huh?
Lily.
You know what it was? No. I had to get the back massager because I got tired of carrying all the weight that you're making me carry now that you're gone. Thank God Casey got good at this.
Well, apparently the weight was too much. It only lasted 13 weeks before you had to bow out.
That was a burn, Casey. Burned you.
Am I bowing out, or am I just leaving Russo because he left first? So that's okay.
You know, I want to give one other point, and this is something that I've seen a lot of. Another reason why I think politics are just a little bit different. TDS is even deeper than it was before. The left has gone even further left, which has started to bother me. I saw a person that I care about. I have a story with an older lady that I have a memory from an airplane that was like super close to because of the story. But it's like, you see stupid shit talking about why can't we sue Elon Musk? Why are they allowed in the White House? And then her last thing, she said, I feel like we need to throw these bums out. I said, that's called an insurrection. And it's just, so there's that side that started to bug me more than it used to. And in all reality, I think I said this right before I started leaving, is I'm a little black-pilled right now. Like, I want to give it to Donald Trump's administration. We'll see what happens. I pray that that everything starts to work out. That he's not impeached, because they're going to find a way to do it. Like, I've come to the conclusion that we are fighting what could be, I hope it's not, but a losing battle. God is the only thing I'm going to have faith in that'll make it right in the end. But like Casey said, even more than ever, our government sucks, not because I think Trump sucks, but because I think that everybody's lost their ever-loving fucking mind. And at the end of the day, you've got the far right that's now, both the far right and the far left are showing weird signs of anti-Semitism that I'm like, I really did think this shit was gone. But all the like the Jew hate is like, what is going on right now? This is wild. Like, I don't know. I don't like politics right now because we used to say it's the 10% on the outside. I think we always said that during our episodes. You've got the 10% of crazies on the left. You've got the 10% of crazies on the right, but 80% of us all think alike. I don't think that's true anymore. I think that 80% of the left is out of their fucking minds. And I honestly think that about 50% of the right is out of their mind. Like, I think we're in a weird place and I don't necessarily know what to say. So if I don't know what to say, it's time to stop saying it. Unless I've got a hot take. I like hot takes. Did anybody see I'm going to do a cash right here. Did you see the video I did about where did they touch your vagina? That was hilarious.
Whoa. I've never said that. I've never said anything close to that.
Oh, come on. You guys didn't see. Did you see that video?
I don't know what you're talking about. I don't even watch some kind of videos that even have that in the title.
This was like one of my favorite
I do have
videos.
to
I
say,
thought it was hilarious.
Off that last point, Anthony, which this is probably a real hot take, but I kind of actually have stopped using the word anti-Semitic because until Christianophobia is normalized and is like anti-Semitism and Islamophobia, I'm not going to use any words that do make anybody seem like a victim because I'm kind of tired of it. So I'm kind of tired of not being able to criticize any kind of group without being like, oh no, you can't do this because we're victims. And fun fact, I did a DNA test and I just got the results back this week. I am a significant percentage from Afghanistan and a little bit of hint of Persian. Actually a big amount of Persian because it was from before it became Iran. So now I have a little extra ammunition anytime I'm arguing with a liberal. They try to call me racist. I can say, well, I'm not just Pakistani. So
I hate the term anti-Semitic because I'm like, I don't like the victim side. But like when you see these, like they're looking at the people that do things to kids, can't say the word, or like all this stuff, and he happens to be Jewish. They're like, oh, look, it's a Jew. I'm like, what the hell? Like, this is so weird to me. He's a piece of shit because he's a piece of shit, not because he's Jewish. I find it weird that we have to bring stuff up. Granted, I know that there's times where like, well, he's black, but the identity politics is rough.
And this is why it's so good that I invented the word, so we cannot talk about, Jews as a whole group of people, because you got to separate. It's like if somebody was to talk about the Klan and then attribute it to all white people. You can't do that. There's just a fraction of people that are ignorant that are Klan members, right? There's a fraction of Jewish people, which I coined a phrase, Talmudist. They believe in the Talmud. That's the people that we're talking about. Not all Jews. You can't even say all Jews because Jesus was a Jew. You can't do that. What are you saying? You can't. It doesn't even make sense. But I feel you. But at the same time, until there's a Christianophobia, that's how you say it. Yeah, and we can't. Nobody's spared.
But, I mean,
cool?
You're right though. The Christians they're persecuted. Go ahead, Emily. It's my fault.
Oh, no, I mean, it's like every time you want to criticize that maybe Israel might be going a little bit too far. Oh, you're anti-Semitic. Oh, you hate people. It's like, no, I think I can agree that Israel has a right to exist and defend itself, and also say like, maybe you've got enough retribution and maybe it's time to reel it back a little bit.
It's fair.
But you're anti-Semitic if you say that.
Yeah. If there's statistics, like I used to share that. I know we're getting into news in a little bit now, but I used to share the thing like in the beginning when Kanye would be like, hey, the Hollywood is, 70% Jewish and I'm like, yeah, he's right. Like that's a statistic. Just the same way as when we talk about black people proportionately commit more of the crimes. That's a statistic. I'm not saying, well, the blacks do this. or the Jews do this. But it's like, if there's statistics, show them. But when it's just like, oh, that guy's Jewish and that's why he was a pederast, it's like, okay, like this is just getting weird. It's getting very like that. I mean, it wouldn't be a real show if I didn't look at a comment and go, what the fuck are you talking about? I'm sorry. Like legacy Zach.
That's exactly what Cash is talking about. Like that's why. But it is what it is. Well, let's get back on topic, guys. Free, you want to take?
We're getting. I don't want to really get into the Jew hate. Let's not do that.
So my next question is, who's your favorite Jew? No, I'm just kidding.
Jesus.
Hey.
All right. So the next question would be.
I said Jesus for another reason, but that's okay.
So next question would be, what's one episode that either stands out to you because it was important or was your personal favorite? Russo, you haven't talked at all. Why don't you? Oh, no. All right, Cash.
I got it. My favorite one was the one that Russo put together, and it was a montage of all of our bloopers of the behind the scenes that me and Russo, we were trying to record something, like a message, and I messed up a whole bunch, and he put the music behind it and got all the funny takes and compiled them all together, and it was... I cracked up, man, because, you know, y'all got to know me over the time, but you don't really know me. Like, I'm a real goofball, you know? I'm a real goofball. I scream. I be doing all kind of funny stuff. I dance, you know? It's funny. And he grabbed all of these moments from off camera where we're talking, he's recording me trying to get something right when I'm trying to, you know, say the message. It was like a streetlights thing that we were trying to, you know, put together.
It was with Nikki. When we
Is that what it was? Okay,
yeah. A project that I was working on.
Yeah.
It was to be the we did something. Yeah,
something like that. But it was hilarious. It was hilarious because you grabbed all these moments where I would never put it out in the public of me doing or saying any of the things that I'm saying or act the way that I'm acting. And he put it together, and I cried when I watched it from laughing so hard. I was like, this is the best thing ever. So that was my best one, like my favorite one of all time.
Your boys from back in the hood would have watched that and been like, what?
No, they did watch it. They were cracking up. No, because that's me. Even in the hood, that's me. Like, I'm a big, I like to have fun. I like to laugh. Like, that's just who I am. So they seen it. They cracked up too. They like, bro, I can't believe you did that on camera, because, you know, we never had cameras like that back in the day to go live and say all that stuff that I be saying, you know. So yeah, it was good. It was good. It was like, yeah, that's Cash right there. That's real Cash. That's me. So yeah, it was fun.
Russo, same question. Favorite or most important episode to you?
I don't know. I just got jealous of Cash because I wish I could sound as cool referring to myself in the third person. Can you imagine me being like, I mean, that's Anthony. That's just me. That's Anthony. It doesn't sound as cool coming out of my mouth. My favorite episode.
It does sound a little bit like RFK talking about Anthony.
It does. It does, definitely.
That's not the sound he makes. That was something else. That was you pretending that you were in prison. That's what that was.
No, I thought you were saying that would be me if I met RFK, is what you would have said. That's if you were gonna make a gay joke, that's where you go. All right. My favorite episode, I would have to say some of my favorite. I mean, I love the ones where we had people that disagreed. One of my most frustrating and fun episodes at the same time was the one we had Carl on in the very beginning, where we had like 9 people. Casey, were you already on at that point or no?
I was watching. This is when I just found you guys.
So when that episode, and I remember how difficult and stressful that episode was. And the fact that I think that was one of the biggest teachable moments for Cash, because him and I had a talk afterwards, because I'm like, Cash, you're more intelligent. You have better logic. You're smarter than that. There's no need for you to like flip the chair and go like a valley girl in the middle of the argument. I'm like, just stand firm, wait, and then pounce. And I think that de-evolution of the conversation is what made Cash so much stronger. So I would say that episode. And like any of the ones like the debates that did like 10,000 people, and just realizing the numbers that were able to have that kind of impact, I think were a big deal for me. And honestly, I like the Uvalde episode, the one that caused us to stop doing it, because it showed that people on the same side can disagree vehemently over one thing. It made me sick to my stomach when I was doing it because it just was such a shit show. But it also, I like when people can disagree, to be honest. So,
yeah. And in my defense, I was a lot rougher around the edges back then. I did not know how to have a civil conversation with somebody and not get mad, especially at the time, like another black man that differed from me, because it's like, I know more than you know, nigga. Shut up. You know, that was my attitude. That's how I was, you know what I mean? And it was just like, I guess it's just part of like the culture that I had was coming out of completely, you know? And it was like, anytime you get two brothers that's got a difference of opinion, that's both, you know, alpha type males, you know, dominant males, it's going to be like a pit bull fight when you get them in the same place together. So that was kind of what happened, because really, even though Carl completely has a difference of opinion than me, I actually grew to like the brother. Like that's my bro. Like I enjoy talking with Carl. You know, he just has a difference of opinion, but he's a good dude. So
yeah. I thought that for a long time, but I'm sorry, he's a piece of shit. I'm just saying. There's some people that are just pieces of shit. I tried very hard with him, and so there's just a lack when you have that big of a like. No, I tried so hard, and I liked him for a long period of time, and then there was it's certain ugliness coming up around the election. Sorry, that's another thing.
You.
I want to be able to freely say when people are pieces of shit again, and if a piece of shit is a piece of shit, piece of shit is a piece of shit.
I feel that.
Yeah.
Casey, same question to you. Most important show or show that you enjoyed the most?
One of the funniest shows that we had, that's one of the clips that when you and I were talking, that I wish I could go back and shame on Cash for having these videos deleted. It was just before he turned himself in. Russo, you'll remember this. Do you remember the night we spent staying up all night going down this Q talk of all the Vatican went dark, everything, all of these things?
Scrambling the jets.
There's Cash was going down this Q rabbit hole like no other for hours and just taking us all with him. And we're all like trying to piece this whole thing together. And then
it was fun. I still got the show, by the way.
To be clear, I wasn't a part of that.
Hey, look, you call me what you want. I still believe parts of it. You're never going to convince me. This is what I'm going to say. All right. You're never going to convince me that some of the things in Q wasn't valid, especially with seeing what's going on. Some of it was completely false, right?
Absolutely.
Some of it has came out to be true, and I'll stand on it. I don't care what nobody says. You call me with Q-tard, call me whatever you want to call me. I'm telling you. And when that stuff was going on, mind you, we had movies like The Fall Cabal come out, you know, and I spent the whole night just binge watching Fall Cabal. So my brain was like,
I regret telling you about that movie. There is some truth to that stuff.
Bro, I went down a dark hole, and I'm just like, I got angry. I got physically angry within myself. I'm like, these dirty they doing this to kids. They cutting faces off. Like I went down a hole, and I was angry. So I was praying to God that all this stuff was happening, you know, as far as like the 10 days of darkness and the Vatican and the Pope. And I was like, man, get them all. Huh?
Look in the comments. Look at what you did to people. You kept them up all night.
Hey, but you know what? We were in the pandemic era, and nobody had anything to do. We were all stuck inside of our houses, and it got us through. I don't regret it. It was fun, and I'd do it again. How about that? I still look at it. Here, let me be real honest again. I still look in the Q post. How about that? I still look at Q post.
What was the name of the guy that hates me because I called him out? And Hawk. I wonder what happened to Hawk.
Oh, I love Hawk. I be watching this stuff all the time. I go in his chat sometimes. Online? Yeah, he's doing real good. He's got a pretty good show going. I say what's up to Hawk every now and again. I pop in his chat and what's up, bro? He's like, yo, Cash, what's up? Yeah.
That's another thing I mean, we have a good following now on X, but that's the thing that follows me. People that are absolutely insane because the people will follow the extremes, and so this idea of common sense middle ground is like, I mean, it's kind of fun to listen to logic, but I'd rather listen to a mass psychosis of psychopathic bullshit.
Yo, these comments, dog. Yo, some of these comments is off the chain. I love it. No, man, I feel you. I feel you. Believe me, that's why I had to step away. I was glad. Honestly, it was kind of like a breath of fresh air going to prison because I got to like recalibrate my brain and read a whole lot. It's like, okay, this is reality, and this is just entertainment, you know. And I wish they would have put some of that in Q because I went down a dark path, bro. I was literally visibly angry, and I feel like that was part of the psyop with Q. Was like to get Americans pissed off. Who wouldn't be mad at these things when you find out this is happening to children and they're doing this across the nation on a global scale and they doing all this stuff in Disney. And then I'm like, yo, you know what? It's us against them. At this point, I don't even care. I'll die for this. Like I was getting deep, bro. I was getting deep into it. Like I'm going to save the kids. I'm going to save the kids myself. You know what I mean? So I think that was part of the whole psyop because real people got really angry. There was some dark stuff in the movies, bro. Some real dark stuff. And I still kind of believe some of it. That's the crazy part.
Some of it has to be true, but the stuff that is true gets bogarted because some of the other stuff is unprovable and batshit crazy.
Yeah. Yeah.
So we have a special guest coming on in just a couple minutes, by the way. Go ahead, Free.
I'm already here, Russo. So Emily, similar question to you. What's been an important moment for you, or what's it like for a woman to step into this situation and share your opinions?
Honestly, I've never even really thought about me being a woman. I might have a tick of a superiority complex to me that makes me confident and not even think about that. So that's not really even been a factor for me. But I will say, it's been awesome to be able to get to join this wonderful group of people and get to discuss basically what I'm most passionate about, which is politics, geopolitics, what's going on in the world. Like I said, I don't really have a ton of people to like talk in depth about this with. My friends really aren't. They pay attention, but usually they're just paying attention to whatever I'm posting. And it's been really cool is like I've kind of gotten more experience and more used to sharing my views on social media because of the show. I've had so many people from like the horse world that message me. I mean, I get at least probably 5 to 10 messages a week from people saying, thank you for sharing this. Like we only follow the news like through you and through your posts. So that's been cool to like at least know other people appreciate it and care about what I have to say, even if it is a little unhinged on social media sometimes.
So my next question is there a show that afterwards you said, maybe we shouldn't have done this show? Yeah, Russo forgets my name a lot. So is there a show that you feel like afterwards you're like, maybe we shouldn't have done that show, or a show that the audience reaction was just more than you would have thought? Russo.
Mine wasn't actually a show. It was a decision I made. And I brought it up recently. I didn't talk about it. I talked about it to some people. So we talked about Rachel Altman earlier. I gave her a platform. Her and her dad. Me and her dad are close, and she was phenomenal. She was getting into it. She was very young at the time, and she's blown up as, you know, not in terms of social media, but in her roles. And I remember after January 6th, I was very sensitive about the incident because of Cash. As a huge believer of free speech, I think what I did was stupid, and I respect her decision thoroughly. But when I said to her, because she was going to make her weekly show, and obviously it was going to include J6 stuff, and I said, Emily, the one thing I'm going to ask you to do is to not talk poorly about January 6th. You weren't there. Nobody in this group was there. So since I know about it, I'm going to tell you what you're seeing is a lie. And I can't have you say something bad. And I think part of my fear was not about the fact that she was going to say something bad. It was more of the fear that we had such an audience following Cash and as supporters of Cash and I, that I'm like, it's going to look bad. People are going to be mad. We're going to lose followers if she gives her honest opinion. And she goes, I respect that completely, but I'm going to go ahead and not do the show anymore. And I was like, okay, that's totally fair. She was very respectful about it. But I think that was probably the one regret I have, is to squash somebody's ability to do free speech, because she would have continued doing the show and she probably would have learned that she was probably just wrong about what she was fed, and she would have figured it out on her own. And instead we lost somebody that I think could have been a great addition to the show and probably given us some ties to DC in a way that we don't have now. So that was a big mistake. That was my biggest mistake.
Cash, same question to you. A show that you thought afterwards, maybe we shouldn't have done that show, or that you were surprised by the audience's reaction to?
No, not one. I have zero regrets, and I'm proud of everything I put before the crowd.
Well, even an audience reaction that was like overwhelmingly positive, anything that just you were surprised by.
All right.
Like the ones that I was on where people just gush about, like, where did you find him? That kind of thing.
Yeah. Well, which show that maybe I'll say the second Truth to Set You Free when I came home. The second Truth to Set You Free, because that was when the audience came back heavy. It wasn't the first one. It was the second one. And it just felt good. That everybody was just the overwhelming love. And then my Facebook skyrocketed. People went over to Facebook and started searching me. And then, it felt like for a moment, it's like, yo, I'm back. I'm back. They coming back in droves now. And all the content is starting to do its thing. And it just inspired me to start, editing and all of that. It was that one. The second Truth to Set You Free when I got out of prison.
Casey, same question to you. Show that the response surprised you, or that you thought afterwards, maybe we shouldn't have done that show?
Yeah, that was the time that Russo took a break over the summer after Uvalde, and we had that horrible show. And I'm still going to live by it. It was a horrible show. There was nothing informative about it. It was nothing but hate. And it was nothing about what the mission of this platform was. And it really showed that politics can really pull the worst out of people. But then we came back not even a month later, and we kept going for even a couple more years. So there's a pro and a con with it, but I'm definitely not proud of that show. I don't like it, but it needed to happen. We took a month off, all of us did, and we came back stronger. And so I'm going to say it's a positive and a negative, but I'm definitely not proud of that show.
Oh, I remembered one. I do remember one. Sorry. Kate, and first off, Casey, I was on the Uvalde episode, wasn't I?
No. It was me, Suni, Kevin, and Monique. And then we had a
one guy. What about the one guy?
I want to say his name was Greg. Is that what it was?
I still follow him.
You set me up with that guy, and I coordinate.
I still follow him. I like him. I think maybe that's funny, because I guess I was watching that episode going, oh fuck, things are off the rails.
I was texting you the entire time.
Okay. The episode I was about to say was a mistake. This one bothered me. Is when, and this is what was if people want to know more of the chasm between Suni and I, and we've made up, we agree to disagree on a lot of things, was the episode she brought on Tyler Bluntman, who is also, he's a right-wing raging piece of shit. So when we brought him on, and he like, again, it's a guest of somebody's, it's a guest. I have a great sense of humor. I love that was pretty funny when I met Free for the second time. Who's this guy? Nice to meet you. I was on an episode 4 weeks ago, you dumbass.
I even put my picture on my name tag just in case the words didn't help. I put my picture on there too.
That one was funny. That was one of the not the election. That was the one of the debates. I was like, Free, go ahead and introduce yourself. We've never met. I was on an episode a couple weeks ago.
That was actually my third episode, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, that was the third one. The second one you still forgot too, though.
Oh my God, I'm an idiot. Yeah. All right. Anyways, no, Tyler Bluntman, he did this rage quit. It was no longer about information. It was about them, like, I don't know. And that was really the beginning of the end of the Suni situation on the show. And it took until Cash came back for me to just be okay. I don't like her content, and that was part of it. And I don't agree with the way that they handle a conversation, but Cash has a way of making her better. And I think that that's part of it. The guy that passed away was That was Dr. Frank Lockwood. Actually, if you were here, and we're about to potentially have some OGs. If you were here in the beginning when we were doing biscuits and gravy, there's been a couple things. We did have Ken Paul. He's been in the hospital for a very long time now. He had a rough spat this summer, and he had a lot of things go on. So he'll never be Ken Paul anymore. But he's fought hard. He was not supposed to live. So if anybody remembers biscuits and gravy, he is still fighting pretty hard. And then Peter Toko was on 1 or 2 episodes. He passed away of a heart attack 2 days ago. He was incredibly healthy. He was the healthiest he's been in 20 years, but he was found unresponsive, unfortunately. So a lot of people from biscuits and gravy have not made it very well, unfortunately. So yeah, to the people that, and I don't know how we don't talk about. Yeah, go ahead, Casey. I'll let you talk about that one. Go ahead.
What, Denise Holub? There's a handful of people that have passed away over this time of doing the show. And Cash, unfortunately, you were locked up through most of it. But we don't even have enough time to name them all. And that's the part that I wanted to highlight is it's not just the early beginnings, but in between, there's been many people that we have lost along the way, and we appreciate all of the support and every single one of you and anybody that has came around, because I'm trying to just look up on the side real quick on all the names. There's no way I can do it in time, but there is a lot more than what we're naming right now that we have lost along this way.
Well, and I named guys that weren't really on this show actually, but I don't know how I forgot about Eric. But Casey, your friend, go ahead and if you want to mention, he was on 20, 30 episodes, maybe.
Yeah, I was gonna bring that up later, but yeah, what Eric Peterson, man. It's tough. It still hurts. But
he was, yeah, go ahead.
No, I can't do it, man. Go ahead.
You're right. He was brought to the show, had a huge passion for what we do, wanted to do everything from financially help to be a part of it, still follow his wife and his children. And yeah, he unfortunately was I out of somebody that had the most role in this show for a long period of time. I mean, Eric kept us. Eric was in that middle, Phil, where I was getting tired of doing the show, and he had just a great passion for it, and built a friendship with him. And unfortunately, he was lost too. It's amazing the percentage of people that we've lost doing this. So, but he was a big part of the show. I forgot all about how many episodes he was a part of. And you would have liked him, Cash. Eric was a good dude, outspoken, loud, very intelligent. But unfortunate.
Dang, that sucks, man. I didn't know that you guys lost all that. I lost a lot of people when I was locked up too. Real talk. 2 of my cousins,
family members.
Yeah, man. 2 of my cousins passed away. My bro Dallas that I brought on Some of All Parts, he passed away. I lost my nan. She passed away. It's just a lot of deaths, man. But the cousins one really hit me real hard on top of Dallas. Dallas was the first one that hit me. But then when both my cousins passed, because the last time that we all saw each other, we was fighting. Well, me and my cousin Twan, actually, we had to put hands on my little cousin Marcus, because my little cousin Marcus hit my Uncle Kenneth with a 2x4 and broke his arm. And it was just this big old thing. So the last time I seen both of them, we was at odds. It was all love still. Like, I still love both my cousins, and we was on the verge of being cool. Like, I had talked to Marcus after the event, and we was straight. So we made amends, and I told him I loved him. Last things I probably said to him was like, I love you, cuz. And my cousin Twan, same thing. But I found out that both of them passing, and it struck me that the last time that I had seen both of them together, we was at odds. And yeah, man, that one hit me. That one hit me when I was locked up, bro. And then when Dallas passed away, that crushed me, because he was such a big part of my life, bro, of helping me have this sense of knowing myself, like getting to know me, as a black man, really, because I was raised in it was a multicultural type of community I grew up in. We had black, white, Mexican, everybody. But when I connected with Dallas was a part of the Nation of Islam. And he brought me into the Nation of Islam, and I started reading all these different writings that I never would have came across. and started watching like Minister Louis Farrakhan, which educated me a lot. I know people got a difference of opinion about Minister Louis Farrakhan, but he was a big influence in the way that I look at it, that I look at information and taking information and study. And it really made me want to study because I'm like, he's smart. I want to be smart too. He kind of like a mentor figure is how I looked at him. But really introduced me to Malcolm X was the biggest thing. Malcolm X became one of the, like, he was already a hero of mine, but he became like this huge, because I'm like, oh, I'm a part of the same thing that Malcolm X was a part of. And it was just, it was informative, and just meeting all these older heads and talking with them and then building me up. And they're like, brother, you are smart. How old are you? 14 years old, boy, you're going to be something. You got a passion. And it's just overwhelming, like, black love around the Nation of Islam when I was a part of it. And when he died, bro, because we both came out of the Nation of Islam, like, he was still a part of it, but not like he used to be. He's seen the same thing I've seen. His mom's white, like my mom's white. So he was like, it's not like, I can't get with that part, but I do enjoy the lectures, right? And we were just always tight. Every time we talked, it was all love. So yeah, when he died, I cried a lot of tears, dog. I had to lock myself away in the cell. I was bawling. It crushed me when I found out Dallas died. So yeah, rest in peace. Rest in peace to everybody that we lost along the way. Kind of want to play that song that at the end of Fast and
the
Furious.
Arms of the Angel?
No, it's been a long time. Yeah. Without you, my friend. That one.
We should have done an in memoriam.
I'm telling you.
Shifting gears back, I wanted to ask Emily, is there a moment you were surprised by the reaction, or a moment that really stands out to you?
Well, I probably haven't been sharing my opinion to the public long enough to have any regrets, but I tend to not be a person that regrets much of what I say. But I will say what surprised me the most, and I'm so thankful for all the people that watched this show and how welcoming they were, and all of the kind comments and the follows from the start, from the first episode I did. It meant a lot to hear, people that I don't even know appreciate what I have to say. And, just, it was a wonderful community to be brought into. So I'm just thankful for that. It was a little bit surprising to me, just not really ever talking to people outside of my social circle about this stuff. So to have people I don't even know be so kind was surprising to me and very appreciated.
Yeah.
Excellent. So the next question, I don't want to go around again, but is there a guest or a topic that changed your mind that you were surprised by? Russo.
In the very beginning, Curtis and I had a lot of conversations before, and even when Cash was just starting to be on the show, we talked about the concept of white privilege. And I hate the term white privilege. I think that there is privilege, and I think that there are certain things that I was brought to it. And Curtis has always grown up in good areas. He's a black dude, but he's like, dude, and he went through all the different times he had been pulled over. And it's impossible for me to ignore the fact that being pulled over while being black is not a real thing. Does that mean that like there's one level of victim or anything like that? But just to be able to have the ability to shift gears and realize there is a certain element that we have to understand, and that helped me to be able to empathize with people that I'm having an argument with or a disagreement with, to realize we're all going to have a different background, belief system, and also a very different experience. So that was something very early on where it's like, I grew up poor. I grew up on free lunch. I grew up all these things. And I'm like, you don't tell me what it is to be black. Like, I've experienced or whatever. And I realize, and I'm like, all right, there is a difference. I'm never going to be looked at different when I walk into a shoe store in the middle of downtown. That was something that opened my eyes a bit to a different perspective on the race conversation. So,
hang on, we got to address this real quick. Russo may get pulled over a decent amount, but he still can't see a stalled car on the highway. Like, that is still a thing.
Ask me how many tickets I've gotten, and this is going to be a plug for my speaking class
She
because
says it right here.
I was gonna say he drives like a Chinese woman.
I am a very unfocused driver, but I've been pulled over in my life at the age of 42 somewhere, I don't know, 30 to 35 times, and I've gotten 2 or 3 tickets. So if you want to get better at communicating and speaking, I suggest you go to doubledownspeaking.com to get better at your ability to speak. It is a free class every Wednesday night, and it's just a better way to learn how to communicate.
So the police when you get pulled over.
You want to get out of tickets. Be a better communicator.
Right. I just think it's
man.
great that you can go into a woman's shoe store and not get looked at funny. I mean, 2025, right? I mean, so Cash, same question to you. A guest or a topic that opened your mind, changed your opinion, had an impact on you.
It had an impact on me because nobody really changed my mind about anything.
Cash, wait a second, Cash. You didn't even know that you were conservative when you started doing
He
this.
said it with the show, not when I had my viral moment. He said when I did this show.
But even when we started, even like 3 weeks into the show, you didn't know what.
No, I was learning more about conservatism, but it was the person that messaged me on Facebook and started asking me all these questions. I remember it vividly, asking me my questions about what I believed about certain things. And every time I gave my response, he was like, at the end of it, he was like, yo, I'm sorry to tell you this, bro, but you're far more conservative than even I am. That's what started me down the path of being a conservative. You guys just kind of refined it and made me see that I do have a lot more conservative values. And then Casey and Free came along and said, yes, Cash, though you do have a lot of conservative views, a lot of what you believe is based in libertarianism. So it's Zach, you're a gross individual, but I love you. But no, they told me about learning more about libertarianism. And it's like, yeah, I agree with a lot of that. So that's what leads me now to say no labels. I'm just a Trump supporter, America first type of guy, because in that you can have some liberal beliefs, not a lot because liberalism is leftist and it sucks. But you can have a lot of libertarian and a lot of conservative beliefs and just be a Trump supporter, because that's what we see today. A lot of libertarians voted for Trump. A lot of conservatives voted for Trump. 0 liberals voted for Trump because they're brain dead. Hopefully they come out of that.
Do you believe in free speech?
Do I believe in free speech?
Yeah.
Somewhat.
What does that mean?
That means if I believe in your freedom of speech to say anything you want unless it's against me, I'll smack you.
That's still free speech.
Oh, okay. Well, then yes.
I'm not going to let the left steal the word liberal anymore. That's why I don't talk poorly about I don't say liberal. Liberal mean like the core of liberalism is free speech and the right to do what you want to do. It's very close to libertarianism. The word liberal no longer fits the Democrat Party.
I agree with that. You know what? I agree. It's just like, have you guys ever watched Clerks?
Of course.
Okay, so how about Jay and Silent Bob? Okay, I love those shows. It's just like that. You know, they've hijacked the term.
You are so white. Go ahead.
Bro, I'm half white. I grew up, that was one of my Beavis and Butthead. It was like one of my favorite shows. But anyway, hijacking the term liberal is just like how my man said in the show. I'm taking back the word porch monkey. He didn't know it was racist. He didn't know that the word was racist. And his grandma, you know, he was like, look, you can't say that. And he was like, why? It's just a word. He's like, I monkey around. I'm on the porch. You know, he was saying it as part of him. But because they hijacked the word and made it something derogatory, we got to take back liberal. We got to take it back. JFK was a liberal Republican. He was Democrat, but you know.
The parties have shifted. Anyway, sorry, we're talking about real things here all of a sudden. Stop it. Actually, I want to ask Emily. Can we ask Emily what she feels about the word liberal since we've weighed in up here? What do you differentiate between Democrat and liberal?
Yeah, I think I do. I've noticed myself doing it more and more recently, like especially if I'm writing it out. I kind of call Democrats like people like Tulsi, RFK, like kind of the traditional classic Democrats. And I'll use the word liberal, but more often I use the term the left. when I'm kind of talking about the people that have gone kind of off the rails. And I don't really use Democrats. I try not to. I kind of try to make a distinction. I don't know, maybe I need to switch up the terms there, but that's kind of how I've been using it.
That's real. I agree. I concur.
So, Casey, same question to you. A moment or a guest that changed your opinion or opened your eyes to a different point of view?
I honestly really don't have an answer.
Cash already used that answer.
I really don't. And the one of the things that I do remember though is we were talking about, it wasn't a truth show though, it was with just Suni and I. We were talking, I can't remember what shooting it was, but it was the one where the cop ended up shooting the guy that was ended up just tried to run away from the officers, and she pulled the wrong gun. She meant to pull a taser, and well, she says she intended to pull a taser, but pulled her firearm. Don't believe it. But that scenario, I remember very vividly that day, trying to explain to people, because there were a lot of people who were trying to tell me this is wrong. Like, you shouldn't pull a gun. And I agree. In that scenario, I think you could have done it in a different way. And I've always been an advocate for officers to have a purple belt in jiu-jitsu, because I think you're going to be able to learn some discipline and be able to control yourselves in those situations and not result to those deadly situations. But when it comes down to that situation, I remember having a conversation with multiple people that came on and explaining, do you see someone that ran away from officers during a police stop as a threat to the community? And multiple people that day were saying yes. And they are still followers today. I even seen a couple of them in the comments right now. And they said yes, but they disagreed with me on the person trying to reach for either a taser or a pistol. They thought everything was going to be okay, just let them run. But no, in that situation, they are a threat to the community. And so the officer was trying to keep that contained. And ever since then, and a few of you in the comments, it was great to have that conversation and to be able to show you the reason why the officers need to have discipline. And there is a threat for when somebody is on the run. You don't know what they're going to do to the people around them. You have no idea. And just to give that perspective, there were at least a few people that changed their minds that night. And that is one of the biggest things that came out of this, is because if I'd never met these two, your guys's, well, whatever, this area, these two, that conversation would have never happened. And
I don't know how you're saying nothing has changed in your mindset when you were not originally a Trump voter. Like, that's the biggest thing that switched in you.
No. What do you mean?
You voted for Trump.
I voted for Doge. I did not vote for Trump. I voted for Doge.
You put Trump on a ticket, not Doge.
No, I want government.
You voted for Trump.
In size, period. End of story.
Trump's doing it. Yo, can we bring him up, bro? Because this is great.
Curtis.
Well, I'm waiting. I was waiting on Aaron too.
Well,
you got my bro in here too, man. Hey, these brothers is dope, man. So I can't wait. I can't wait to pull him off.
He's just setting up. So Curtis is good. He might even make it home by the time we get Aaron on here. We'll see.
Yeah, Curtis. We'll wait a minute, man. Go ahead, Free. What's next?
So talk about your audience and, what they've mean to you, how it's grown, how it's changed, the interactions you've had with the audience, Russo.
How my interactions have changed. I mean, Casey's always the one that's like, stop screwing with the trolls. I love the trolls. It's especially in near the end of the episodes where it's like we've had a whole episode talking about this topic and that topic and this topic, and then I get to just kind of let loose and make fun of people, and it's unfortunate for them because they don't get to have a voice back. But we've invited them several. I mean, we'll give them the link; they just don't come. So that part is fun to me. The interaction with the trolls, because I do think it's entertaining. I mean, there's some there's some names that I'm not going to name on our same side that made me want to stab my eyes out or ears out throughout the years. But I like the interaction, the ability to do, have conversations with people in the chat and get in fights. I think it shouldn't be the whole show, but it's fun for part of a show.
Yeah. Russo, you just don't know how to stop talking. So when you mention one troll, it goes on for an hour. So
yeah,
that's why I tell you not to feed the troll.
That's called good TV, Casey.
Just because you can't talk about politics and the government, you have to distract by trolls. I get it. It's okay.
So Cash, you have one of the greatest audiences I've ever come across anywhere on social media. You have the nicest people, the most helpful people, the most supportive people, and you bring also a diverse audience as well. Talk about your audience.
Well, my audience is dope. It's always been dope. I used to have a lot more trolls than I have now, and I used to go at them. Like, I used to eviscerate the trolls in the audience, but now I just, I guess because of the little path that I've been on and my own little personal growth, I don't really go at them too much like that anymore, the way that I used to. Not that I won't call them out, because I will, but I don't go at them the way that I used to. But the good people that are in my audience, they're amazing. They're like family. It's an extension of family. Whenever I come live, it's like I'm kicking it with family, and I know they're going to put something informative in there, or some kind of joke is going to be funny, or they're going to check me on something and be like, yo, Cash, maybe you shouldn't say that. Or they're going to say, yo, Cash, maybe you should look into this. They give me ideas for content. So it's really an extension of my family. It's my virtual family, if you will. And some of them I've had the pleasure of meeting in person, which is even more cool. Like, a lot of people from January 6th that I met took a whole bunch of pictures with me. They show up in the audience and they're like, yo, I'm here. Or they'll go in the comment section of a Facebook video and post a picture that we took together. And that's dope. So it's like, and they all help me. They in some way, shape, or form, they've contributed to the evolution that is Cash, on social media. So I owe my audience, really. Without my audience, I'd be nothing. So I appreciate my audience. I love them to death.
Russo, we got both Aaron, Curtis. Do we want to hang on for a minute? Do you got confirmation we're ready to go?
No, we're
Shout
going to
out,
wait
Dave.
because Curtis just got home. He's resetting up back inside, so we'll give him like 2 minutes.
So we have Curtis in a big white, just all white t-shirt leaning over the top of his camera like he did in the very early days. We need to request that of Curtis.
Did he do that?
You don't remember this? Those are like my first shows. He's like leaning over this camera on a counter.
He used to be like this. He used to be like this talking.
Oh, yeah. All you could see is the head.
Man. Oh, man. Free, what do you got next? We got a few minutes.
Yeah, Casey, same question to you. Talk about, you have such an active audience. They participate, they ask questions, they have comments, they jump in right away and tell you you're right, tell you you're wrong. What do you think about the audience? What are your takeaways?
We wouldn't be doing this without an audience. Like, serious. If we didn't have anybody that wanted to tune in, we would have quit after a couple episodes. And this is all for you guys. This is all for everybody that's watching. And I just enjoy talking about it. And then you guys coming in, challenging me to make sure that I'm giving you the right information, because I've admitted I'm wrong, not to you, Free. But I've admitted I'm wrong a few times. And when it comes down to these things, that's why we do this. We're all just going to have a good time, share some fun, and we have a love for this country and we want what's best for it, regardless of where we stand. And that's the most important part about this.
Amen, brother. Amen. Boy, Casey, I'm so proud of you, dog. I swear I'm proud of you, man. You've developed so great. Like, you're going to be the most viral of all of us. You're going to have the largest audience. I'm going to speak that, bro. You've gotten really good, man. In your own lane, too. In your own lane. It's not even truth to set you free. It's just your own thing that you have cultivated for you. And it grown an audience for yourself that show up for you. Like, every time. You have a great audience, too. It's dope.
Casey's analysis of the whole explosion in Vegas on January 1st was like that was as good of social media videos, a 2-hour analysis that you can possibly get. And while we're waiting on Curtis, and what you just brought up, Cash, this is honestly one of the things. So the reason why I kept Truth Will Set You Free going the whole time Cash was in jail through the election. Some of the times that I didn't want to keep doing it is, in all honesty, I felt almost obligated to make sure, and not in a bad way, I almost felt obligated to Cash to make sure that we kept this going for when he got out. And I did that as good as I could have. And even the Be the Change page doubled in size. Our algorithm killed us, but it doubled in size. So he came out, and the idea, the original idea, and we could talk about this after we bring Curtis and Aaron up, was to utilize Truth Will Set You Free as the hub. I do think there was some mistakes made by Cash, by Casey, but I mean this in love, to utilize a page that was monetized and gear more towards Truth Will Set You Free. But in the end, you guys are both doing great on your you guys are both doing great on your own platforms, and you don't need Truth Will Set You Free in all reality. But the idea was for it to be a hub, and we never quite made it the hub when you got out, but it did keep the followers there, and that was the whole point. It worked out the way that it was supposed to work out, and this is a great time for me to, for the most part, exit from politics.
So, well, let me. Russo is calling Cash and I out. Russo's got us more bad marks and brought down on social media than anybody else on this platform. So he is not innocent. So I'm going to make sure that is known.
I agree with Casey just because it's against you.
Cash, when you brought us down more than anybody else on here.
Well, I'm not saying either of you brought the algorithm down. I'm saying you didn't utilize the page enough.
No, but
anyway,
you was banned a hell of a lot more than me or Cash did.
I was never banned. I was just demonetized.
You guys got a couple strikes on my page while I was gone from on YouTube that I noticed that I haven't brought up. That is definitely true.
All right.
100% true.
Free, I'm going to take the reins just for a second.
Go for it.
Because you don't know these gentlemen, and they look like they're both wearing Super Bowl gear right now. I hear Curtis only wears that throughout the year, and his wife is very confused if he doesn't have any other clothes. So for those watching, if you know what, in the chat, we've got 780 people watching right now. How many of you were watching? Put a 1 if you were watching from day one when we had the George Floyd discussion where I had Aaron Smalls, Curtis Harkness on those episodes. Go ahead and put 1 in the comments if you're watching then. But we're going to bring them up. If we're going to end the show, we might as well end it a little bit where we started. So I'm going to bring up Curtis and Aaron right now. Curtis Harkness, Aaron Smalls. I don't know what this looks like with
the OGs in the building, dog.
What up?
Thank
What's
goodness.
cracking,
Light got lighter. It had to auto amplify. They were making fun of you, Curtis, about how you used to have just the white T-shirt leaning over the video.
It's still kind of the same right now.
It was COVID. What do I need to do? I need to dress up. I'm chilling in my house.
So
hanging out doing nothing.
So this is the end of this Tuesday night show that we started years ago. Obviously, we've all gone and done different things. There's a large risk to there's a lot of people putting 1s up. Holy cow. There's a risk to talking about politics, even if you're on the left, the right, the center, it doesn't really matter. But I would love for the people that followed in the beginning for you guys to give an update on your life. So Aaron, I'll let you go first.
Oh man, there's a lot. And Anthony, you said where the ties. I'll get to that in a moment. But I only left the show because there can only be one light-skinned black guy, and made a decision for it, and he won. That's 2 out of 3. So that was the only fair way to do it. So that's why I had to depart. And listen, I got all the ties. They're ready. Okay. They're all ready, all different colors, sizes, textures.
Yeah.
But you always got to have your favorite tie. And that favorite tie is this tie.
My brother, hey, fresh to death, boy, I see you. Go ahead. Best dressed man on the internet.
You always got to have that ready. Yeah, man. Tying it all together. You said it was wrapping it up. We absolutely had to jump on and say our last 2 cents. It's good to see it's been rocking for as long as it has. I mean, it's 2025. It's crazy that we started this during COVID, but yeah, man, there are a lot of changes in my life. I've moved to much bigger place near the water in Long Island City instead of a studio apartment in farther into Queens. I got engaged, so that's fun.
How did you meet the person that you're now engaged to?
It's funny you should ask that to me. Because when we started this show, she was one of the first guests on the show, and that's just how it worked.
Really,
we came
love on the truth that sets you free.
Wow,
that's came out dope. Of it. We got connected on the show. We hung out outside of the show, and then we hung out outside of the show. And I'm trying to be like taking it slowly and being considerate because this is 2020, and this is like right in that Me Too area. And I've just been watching the morning show, and I'm like, this is my show. I gotta take it easy. But she was very much the pursuer in all of this. So fast forward, here we are 4.5, 5 years later. And that's happening. So things are good. They're cruising. Doing more of this speaking stuff like you've been doing, Anthony. So it's good. We just all reconnected. We just all reconnected a crazy amount at the Super Bowl. It felt like wherever we went, Anthony, like Curtis and I were going to one event, and then you'd be like walking on the street and be like, yo, and we just like kept running into each other. So it was like, all right, this is the world telling us we're supposed to be hanging out at this.
Yeah, I was literally on railroad tracks, and I saw Curtis. I was like, that's a well-dressed, really good-looking. Oh, that's Curtis up there. So it's funny. We were all just working Super Bowl together, and I was like, I go, we're about to do our last show. I'm like, wouldn't it be cool if you guys just came on and made an appearance? So yeah. And Aaron, I'm going to get back to one thing, but I'll have Curtis give it a little update. But I want to get back to the fact that you see what I talk about, why I'm always drawn into politics. We'll get into that in a second. Yeah. Curtis, what's been up with you? You had a big change.
Yeah. So
you had that surgery finally, right?
That's what I was thinking when I said
that. Thank you.
Yeah, turn the TV off, Aaron. No, but so a lot of things happened too. I moved. I'm no longer a digital nomad. I now not forever, but now I live in Florida, South Florida, which is great. With my wife. So, that changed. I kind of went a little bit quicker than Aaron. I'm just a little, I was like, Aaron's got a little bit of advance. I'm just going to go forward. So, but he's catching up. So but it's good. Down there doing, like also what Aaron said, more of the speaking things. But also really been great, I think, from this show, helping to understand people better, and it's on both sides, because we had a lot of great people from, was far left, far right, middle left, middle right, that everybody could agree on some things. You got to eat, got to sleep, you need somebody to love, and you should have a house somewhere to live. And that was something, some of the things we differed on things, but it was good to be able to see people actually, be able to talk and not be able to just yell at each other. That's one thing that you don't always see still today, but we're never, I don't say we would never get there, but that is something that I try to take from this and put into communities, and people are like, I wouldn't expect to be friends with this other person. Like, why wouldn't you? Because get the little things out the way. We're humans. Let's connect, and that's all we want is connection. So it's been great. Love seeing how far this has gone. I have no light-skinned black person that kicked me out. It just is what it is. Like my commitment, I was running from commitment, but then I ran into commitment. So that's probably why I kind of did that. But yeah, excited to see you guys. Casey's still looking good as usual. I got to hit you up. I've been in Utah. I'm like,
slacking, man.
Casey up.
You're slacking.
I love Utah. Yeah, I am slacking.
So the big thing about I mean, obviously when things with Cash, we got a little bit more polarizing once that happened, and it was like there was more followers, but at the same time, it became it's the world we live in. It's hard to get in the political realm and still be able to keep jobs. Probably why Aaron and Curtis don't see me a lot anymore with MC stuff. There's only certain stuff that I get hired to do, but it's interesting that. Like there's no way to escape from politics, but we have to be careful in this modern world. And that could be both sides. It really is, especially now that the pendulum politically and the administration has moved more back to the right. Now I do feel like we'll see what happens with the left. There are the people that feel a little bit differently. They're going to be probably at risk, and I don't think that's fair either. But anyways, go Aaron. Just give a little bit of the experience of this weekend walking around with me.
I mean, you said it. You mentioned that you were a politics magnet, and I just kind of brushed it off. But we went to multiple different places throughout New Orleans, and I felt like everyone we talked to, whether it was a bar, a private party, I feel like within 5 to 10 minutes, somehow, some way, they looked at Anthony and started some kind of a political conversation. They didn't have that conversation with me. I had multiple conversations with a lot of different people, and most of them talked about football or talked about the weekend, but somehow, some way with Anthony, they were like, you, sir, look like you like to talk about politics, so let's talk about it.
And I start it one time?
You did not. You did not.
Wait a minute. You said they just approached him. So he carried that persona to where people wanted to talk to him. So it is his fault. Don't give him that pass.
Scenarios, we would just go meet, like if someone from our group was talking to a group of people, we would kind of wander over there. They would introduce us, and then we'd be in the conversation for a few minutes. So I was talking about St. Thomas, the Virgin Islands, where I'm from, and talking about my grandparents' house down there. I'm talking about that. And then they turn to Anthony and they start talking with Anthony. And then moments after talking to Anthony, it gets into politics. Moments after. And it happened several times.
Guy was like, it was moments in, like they'd been talking. I show up. I said, my name's Anthony. Where are you from? Texas. And they're like, all I said was Texas. No, I think I did say Texas on that one, but didn't say anything with it. And they're like, man, Trump coming to the game was a real blah, blah. I'm like, what the heck? And then I said something about the fact that I'm like, I look at Aaron, I go, people just want to talk politics. I said it in front of the guy, and the guy goes, yeah, I mean, you just got Trump written across your chest. I'm like, what the hell? What is happening? And
it's
that was
white
the night after.
It's your white privilege.
Were you saying, Casey?
It's your white privilege.
Must be. Curtis, you were gone when I said one of the biggest things I learned on the show was when you and I had a conversation about being pulled over while being black and how it's a thing and how I can't ignore that that's a different experience that black people have. Like in the very beginning, we talked, like that was one of the first conversations we had because we were asking if there was any opinions over the several years that have changed in our belief systems. Also, one of the things we didn't mention is that we also, like Cash has changed it to, we back the True Blue. Like, there is some really bad police officers like that out there.
Quite a few.
Yeah. So,
yeah. I mean, and the other thing too is like one thing my parents always taught when we talked about it was how do you respond to other people? You know, and that was something I had great training to handle annoying or rude people because I have brothers and sisters, you know, and it was just like, no, nobody can make you get mad. Nobody can make you, you know, retaliate. You are in full control. And so once you learn that, no matter what people do, it's now you have to, how are you going to respond, you know? And so something even from this show, I had to realize, like, I can't continue to realize, like, I can't let these people, just because they're ignorant and acting stupid, even though they have a little bit of power, I can't let them get over on me or affect me in a way that might degrade my confidence or who I am. And that was something too. It's like, yeah, there's great police officers. I love, you know, I support, you know, anybody who's serving us in multiple capacities, because when you need them, you call them. And so that's something that, you know, I look at as respect is respect. You know, let's respect each other, but definitely learn how to, like, you know, okay, yeah, I don't have to hold that in. I can talk about it, you know, and still feel safe. Some people really didn't agree. And that's what I said with this group, we could talk about that and not get like, oh, you're just saying that because you're black, you know. And that was one of the big things.
That's the Viktor Frankl quote. I have it on my phone. The one thing you can't take away from me is the way I choose to respond to what you do to me. The last of one's freedoms is to choose one's attitude in any given circumstance. So I mean, I keep that on my phone because that's so much of what it is. We can't control what people say or do or how they act or how they respond to us is their choice, and it's being open to that conversation. And that's what this is about, and that's what this was all about when we initially kicked things off with the George Floyd conversation, because the three of us are very different, and it was more about conversations and how you have those conversations when you're different, because we're America. We're different. That is what we are. We are different, and that's what makes us great, in my opinion. But it's perspective. It is listening. I mean, and that's one of the things that I talk about, is that listening is suspension of disbelief. When you go to a Broadway show, you go see Lion King, you know that those aren't real flying. There's not a real talking monkey and giraffes and lions and all that stuff. But you go in and you go, I'm going to forget this because I want to enjoy it for a moment. And you allow that perspective to come in. And it's the same concept when you're talking to people. They may have a different concept from you or a different belief than you, but that is the difference, is being able to listen to it and pause yourself, at least for a moment, to be able to take in that perspective. It doesn't have to be your perspective, but it's about pausing it instead of coming at it from a fearful point or a projecting point or any of those other aspects that create this turmoil, that create the drama, that create the hate. So it's like those are all the different things about the show. Why, when you were like, hey, we're wrapping things up, you want to come back on? And I was like, absolutely. I mean, that's what this is all about, is about these conversations, like your political views, Cash's political views, Casey's, and was any of that, like, you're entitled to that. But us as people, we can still hang out, we can still have a beer, we can still go out, we can still have this fun together. And that's a big part of it. So yeah, man, getting back on what you said, is that response. How do you choose to respond to people?
Well said. Super well
Real
said.
well said. Yeah.
Well, we're probably getting close to wrapping up the show. We'll bring Free back on, but if you guys want to give some final words, Aaron, I'm going to give it to you last, between you and Curtis, because I know you're going to, well, you kind of just did.
I was going to say,
that might have been your final. That might have been what, Casey? What's your issue?
You're going to say that about Curtis? Like, I have a picture all propped up and ready that he's just leaning over the camera, like, all ready, but Curtis is all buttoned up. Like, what are you saying about Curtis, man?
Aaron was the one that the way that he would end it, he would end the shows with tying it all together. So that's what he's going to do. But he kind of just, I'm sure he's got one more bit of wisdom in there.
Curtis, you know where you fall on the friend pendulum is what I'm pointing out.
It's called a friend.
I just want to say it's dope seeing both of you brothers, man. I see some of your stuff on Facebook, and I'm proud of y'all, man. Y'all are doing your thing, bro, in your own ways. Like, I gotta say, I gotta give a shout out, my man Aaron, bro. You are the most fashionable brother that I know on the internet, dog. When I see your stories, I'm like, yo, this brother out here slaying, man. It's like a corporate picture right here. You know what I'm saying? I was gonna ask you, can I get some B-roll of you just walking, or just throw it in the videos? I think it'll add an element. You know what I'm saying? It's a serious question.
It's a strong contrast between events when I'm like fitted up and going to the gym doing train thoughts of the day, and I'm freezing my butt off.
Curtis, I need the same thing from you, Curtis, because you be doing your thing too, my brother. You slaying in your own way. You got the urban vibe going, but classy. I don't know how you do that. I can't do it. I try. You see, I rock the do-rag, but people still, when they see me, they're like, oh, this nigga's a thug. Look at him. He's a thug, unless they know me. You know what I'm saying? But you look approachable. Like, I would, if I seen you on the street, I wouldn't think gang bang. I'm like, yo, he gets it, but he ain't in it like that. But he gets it.
It's like Dave Chappelle says, I'm a non-threatening black guy. So, I like, if you wear Super Bowl gear, you can be as thugged out as you want, but that's Super Bowl.
Yeah, facts. That's what it is.
Oh, you went to the Super Bowl? Like people break down all bears when you wear anything that says Super Bowl 50. Bro, I can't tell you how many people just random at the airport. Like you were Super Bowl? How was that? Oh, like that's some kind of status. I'm like, I could have just got this from the airport flying through. But
see, I got a shirt that seems approachable, right? Unite, don't fight. But then they see it's me wearing it with the do-rag and they start throwing up gang signs like, hey, what you is, bro? Where you coming from, bro? Why you wearing that black and red? I'm like, look at what it says, though. Yeah, unite, don't fight. Who you trying to unite with, cuz? Where you from? You know what I'm saying? So just a look. And you guys do it so well. Me, I can't do it, dog. I try. I'm going to get a suit. I'm going to get a suit, man.
You can get a suit, black and red suit. Like, yeah, I'm a Falcons fan. I was like, what? Falcons,
I like that
Falcons.
Aaron knows how to pull off a hoodie with a sport coat. Like that's it. Like that screams Aaron. Like it's it's a lot. It's good stuff. All right, let's have you guys. We're gonna wrap it up here too, pretty quick. I didn't let Freeze got a bunch more questions, but Curtis, any final words while you're here?
Love seeing all y'all. Good to meet you, Emily and Free. Definitely will connect on in Facebook, Instagram. Just keep follow y'all. Love that you and Cash, Casey, y'all doing well. Thanks, Ann, for hanging out with us. Two guys, and I will say this: a lot of people don't know where I got my start in speaking. There was this really kind of awkward, weird guy from Texas, of all places. I met him in California, and he swore he had the best taco place. And we went to get tacos, and my stomach blew up that night. So I decided to make him a friend. So my first ever Super Bowl was in New Orleans 2013, thanks to Anthony. And my first ever speaking gig was actually that same year at the college football playoff championship. And Anthony's like, dude, you got a great voice. You speak? I was like, yeah, host whatever you need, throws me up there. And I'm hosting with one of the people I watch on TV all the time, Ahmad Rashad, and all these other people. So always want to give a big shout out and thanks. And he never asked for it, never took a dime, always made sure I had whatever I needed. So no matter what you think about Anthony Russo, love the guy. I don't always agree with him, but at the heart, at the core, he always is a great human, even though he needs Mike to wash up a couple times after the horses, but it's all good. We love that guy.
Yeah, I remember all the microaggressions, right? When I hired you the first time, I was like, I'm not going to lie, you're a very articulate black man. Just kidding. Never said that. I never said that.
To me multiple times too.
Never
I know.
He says it all the time. He does it to me.
We pray for him, Cash. We pray for him.
I do. I try. He says, Cash, you're not like the rest. I'm like, what do you mean the rest? Like, the gang stuff that you come from, not your color, the gang stuff. You're not like the rest of the gang bangers that I know. How many do you know?
Yep.
But
all right,
that's it for me.
Thanks, Curtis. Appreciate you. Smalley Smalls.
I mean, like you said, pretty much what I said wrapped it up. But if there's anything else to throw out there, I think it's just the mindset of scarcity versus abundance. I think that there is, in this world, there's abundance. There's plenty for all of us, and if we work together on things, we will find that abundance. If we play in the realm of scarcity, there's not enough resources. There's not enough money. There's not enough food. There's not enough whatever it is. Whenever we operate in that realm of scarcity, that's a realm of fear, and that stuff comes with a fee to it, right? I mean, Anthony, we talked about the people that came up to you. It's an energetic thing, and energy is what we all are. We're all connected energetically, and if you're operating out of negative words and negative actions and scarcity, that stuff radiates out of you. It radiates out of your body, your energy, it's just your wavelengths. That's what it is. So for me, I think that's one of the great things about this show as it's wrapping up is it's the perspectives, it's the diversity of the people. It is, as Americans, what makes us so great, because we do have that diversity, and taking all of that and using that and not being afraid of one another, but lifting each other up and providing this abundance is only gonna lift all of us up. And I think that's my last piece of it to kind of throw out there is listen, have conversations with people, talk, get a different perspective. A lot of the times, Anthony, when a lot of the times people were like, "You're still following Anthony? You're still friends with him?" I'm like, yes, because that is another perspective. I have to take in that perspective to learn, to grow. If I divide myself from that perspective and I'm only in my realm with people that think like me, I'm only going to get one thing, and you don't learn, you don't grow from that. It is the different things, it's the different currents that change you, that help you to align with these different thought processes and to help you grow. So it is the show is truth will set you free, and what is your truth may not be my truth, but if we combine those truths, they indeed will set us free and keep us from fighting one another, yelling at each other, hurting one another. And there's nothing but love there.
I love it. Love it, bro. Y'all still got it.
See, if Curtis and Aaron stayed on the show, I might keep doing shows. I'm going to tell you that.
There's enough of that bullshit. We don't need him here. Like all he's going to do is have so many problems.
He just said that we're not good enough. That's what he just said right now. He just said we're not good enough.
We don't need that negativity in our lives. Like we just don't.
I'll tell you what. If Curtis and Aaron start doing shows again, we definitely don't need you, Anthony. How about that?
You need the token white guy then, because Casey's Mormon, so it doesn't count.
Big fact.
Aaron, Curtis, thank you guys for coming on tonight. Appreciate you both. Take it easy, and congrats and everything. And I'll see you. I'm sure I'll see you soon.
Wait, I have a question for both of them.
Oh, sorry.
Does Russo sound like he hit puberty or no?
Hey, they heard me yesterday. I sound
He sounds way better than yesterday.
Way better than yesterday, and way better than 2 nights ago. Aaron was out with me 2 nights ago. There was nothing there 2 nights ago.
That is true. Curtis was like, all this texting back and forth with Anthony. Why don't you just call him? And I was like, oh, I don't know. I call him. Man, sound like a bullfrog.
I've learned we don't call Russo on Sunday. That's what I've just learned. So,
yo, it's really nice seeing both you brothers, man. Straight up.
Yes, guys.
I'm happy. I wish y'all all the success in the world, bro. I'm happy to see y'all doing well. And congrats on the merit on the engagements, man.
Thank you.
I got married, y'all.
Hey, let's go.
I got married. Yeah. Yeah.
Hey, Anthony's next. All right, I'll see y'all later.
Bye.
Bye, guys. Thank you.
See you, man.
Catch you later, bro. I just want to throw that out there. I found the video, Russo, of when we were in DC, and this was I'm gonna share it. I'm gonna share it when we were walking, because it's safe to share now. When we was walking from the hotel, and I was doing a live, and I was like, I'm gonna be the first one to break this news to you guys right now, live from DC. Russo and Kelly are having a baby. And you were like, no, don't do that. Don't do that.
I remember that.
I don't even remember that.
It was good. It was good. I was cracking up watching it.
I wasn't screaming at the game. I didn't say a single thing during the game. I was only there in the first 10 minutes and then fourth quarter. If you were watching the pregame, I was working with Fox 12 to 3 o'clock. So that's where I was screaming on Bourbon Street to get the fans going. That's what I was doing. I wasn't yelling at the game. I didn't care who won, really. So
I can't wait until we all get rich and we can live by each other, y'all. So we could do a whole podcast like together.
We'll do it. I'll drive over in the motorhome. Let's do it in a couple months.
Game.
We'll see if Russo shows up.
I doubt it.
Will there be food? I'll be there.
Of course there's going to be food. I have 10 kids.
That's the only way we can get you to show up, because you got to be able to feed your girlfriend. True?
What kind of joke was that?
She was complaining she's hungry earlier.
And you do all the cooking for her.
She's asking when she's gonna get dinner right now.
So why are you asking me why?
Kelly needs to smack him in the head right now, Kelly, because he should have been cooking you dinner. What's wrong with him? You should have been put on your apron and got in that kitchen and got in front of that stove and cooked for your your wife.
I see what you did there. That was on purpose. You're an asshole. Emily's closer to Kelly right now. Emily, go get off camera and go help her make dinner. She doesn't know how to use a stove.
I'm in full support of Kelly and you cooking her dinner. I took care of Kelly's horse for a few days and she's got a lot going on there. So Anthony, you better keep cooking her dinner.
I know. Here, as a Cash, if you're going to share that, I want to share my most funny recent video, if that's possible.
What is it?
The one that you said you didn't see.
Which one?
This one.
Democrats, can you do me a huge favor? Point on this diagram exactly where Elon Musk touched your vagina. Did he hurt you? Chuck Schumer, I'm specifically talking about you. I know you got a roast beef gobbler down there. Elizabeth Warren, you too. Did he take away your right to own a Subaru? I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. For all the male Democrats.
Yo. That's gold, dog. That's gold. That is gold.
About politics, really?
I got a little cocky after the 1.5 million spread one, so I was like, I'm gonna make another one. So anyway, you think I should? Do you think that commercial that I shared with you guys would get banned on YouTube? Shit, I forgot you sent that. I was working.
Casey, do you think it would get banned on YouTube?
The one, no,
right? It's pretty good.
Yeah, you'll be fine.
I'm gonna play it for everybody. Then we'll end it with this. This is just so everybody knows. You know that I like comedy. Okay, I like comedy, and this is informative.
Dark comedy.
It's dark comedy, but it's informative. And I think that you guys are gonna like it. I hope you do, because I put a little bit of work into this one. Where is it?
Why you let Emily say like 13 words the whole show tonight?
You got it? You got it, Casey?
No, I thought you had it.
No.
Oh.
I'm taking it in.
Hold on.
Taking it in, Emily.
You got to pull it up, Casey. It's in your messages on X.
Yes, it is. That's why I was like, I can pull it up if you want me to.
Yo, don't be mad at me, y'all, when you see this.
What were you saying, Emily?
Oh, I was going to say, I do just have one pressing question that I wanted to ask all of you before the show ends. Kendrick Lamar's halftime show, did we like it? Did we not? Because I watched it and I thought it was good. I liked the flags. I like his music. I thought it was awesome. Then I get on X and I see like Democrats, liberals, whatever, going, it was against Trump. This was symbolism.
No.
I'm like, I don't know. I liked it. I liked the American flags. I thought it was cool and fun. And
I thought it went perfectly with what Trump and Elon Musk are doing right now. Like, it's us against the establishment type bit is what I understood from it.
Okay.
But at the same time, I could understand where people will be upset because, you know, it's the music industry and it's
the first word.
You know.
So I'm somewhere in the middle. I don't really care. The first thing was it's the revolution and you chose the wrong guy.
It was good. It's artistic expression. He wasn't saying it. Yeah.
I agree. I have trouble understanding what he's saying, but
oh, I got every bit of it, bro. That dude's a lyricist. He literally put so many different albums together, right? From different people throughout the history of time in them lyrics and was like shouting out everybody. It was going over people's heads. It was dope.
So it will take years to dissect that halftime show. It literally will.
So what was his point? Go ahead, Emily.
I was going to say, even if he doesn't like Trump and, was saying if that's what it, meant, I still liked it because it kind of showed like, okay, even if I disagree with the president, like, look, we're going to wear American flags. We have Uncle Sam. We're going to, it's kind of like, that is what is great about America, like freedom of speech, and people can share their opinions and disagree with a lot of things, but still love the country. That's kind of how I took it. And I like his music, so I was a fan, but.
Yo, he called out. This is the thing. He called out all the things that we're against, right? People talk about, oh, they use them as representation and it's just bad for the culture. No, it's not bad for the culture, because if you listen at the last part of when he went to, dissing Drake, he was calling people out for their drug usage in that verse. He was calling people out that be doing things with minors. He was calling the industry out, saying how they control and these people are opposition. They put these people in front of you. He was calling, he did his thing as far as I'm concerned. I thought it was amazing, but that's just the way that I interpret music. Like I'm a lyricist myself, so I like to see the deeper meaning. I heard everything he said loud and clear. I thought he did a fantastic job. Now, I was on the flip side of that. I don't trust anybody that's in the industry. I think that they're all puppets. So that's where I draw the line. And I'm like, okay, this is what I feel from it. It's all great, but I'm not going to go and do a whole show talking about how great Kendrick, he's stepping up to the system. No, that's what I took from it because I'm into politics. Somebody else on the flip side maybe enhanced their racism towards white people.
I thought the production was great. I'm in the middle. I thought the production was good. I don't think the music was phenomenal because I think it was hard to understand. I don't know if he was lip syncing because I thought it was legit because I couldn't understand everything. But I'm somewhere in the middle on it. I mean, the production of it was fantastic. So
the thing you have to understand about Kendrick Lamar, he does not follow the normal pattern of any artist
at all.
None.
Clearly, he's wearing American Eagle jeans from 2007.
But
I love that.
It doesn't
That's swag
matter.
right there. Trendsetter.
With Kendrick Lamar, the part that most people will hate this for is because they didn't understand anything he said.
Mm-hmm.
The greatest thing he said is he called Drake a pedo. I thought that was hilarious.
I just seen a whole bunch of
when it happened during the Super Bowl because no one could understand him. But now that you have the videos coming out, the clips coming out, you actually hear it.
I thought that they were upset because Uncle Sam was a black guy. That's what I thought.
What I saw, I didn't see people upset. I mean, there was the normal group that's like, it should be country music. I'm like, I'm sorry, people like country. I like some, but I think more people probably know Kendrick's songs. I mean, I know his songs. So when they're playing Not Like Us, I'm singing along. I've been listening to that song since it came out. Humble. Yeah. I grew up on Mad City. I've always listened to him. So could I understand him, but I get boomers don't like rap. So I heard those were that was the right complaining, but then there were a lot of people being like, this is awesome. American flags, Uncle Sam. I just saw Democrats sharing it as look how great this is. He just said F you to Trump with Trump there. And this was a stand against fascism. And I'm like, I didn't take that.
I didn't get that at all.
From it.
I think I seen Trump in the rap. He was like this. They not like us. They not like us. He was dancing. I seen him. He's like, they not like us. They not like us. He was doing his thing.
I was looking for a bit. I wanted to.
Did you hear what Trump said about it? They asked him, what did you think about Kendrick Lamar's halftime show? I think Kendrick did a very good job. I like the song. He called out what we called out the left. That's what he was doing. He was calling out the left in their pedo ways, and he put it all out there. It was good. Trump didn't say any of those things. Casey, pull the clip up.
Hang on. Free, you've been silent. What did you think of the halftime show?
I liked it. I was excited about whether or not they would bleep the pedo line and the A minor.
Yeah.
Bro. Did you see his chain? Nobody caught that. Did you see his chain?
The big A? Yeah.
He was a little A. It was a little A, an A minor.
A little
he killed it off the top. When I seen him come out with that chain, I'm like, yo, this brother is on one. I already seen it. He's on
I meant
one.
size of the A, not the
It was great.
Yeah.
The funny part was, I'm in Florida and we did a party with our neighbors and stuff. So we were the youngins there. And my son and I had to explain to everyone why we were so excited to see what they let get through and all of that. And now none of my neighbors will ever talk to me again. So it was a big win for me.
I loved it, man. That was really good.
I thought it was amazing, mainly because he handled it so well that he knew no one would understand what he said until after. So it just all came out. Everything came out. I didn't understand a lot of what he was saying because I just don't. But I love his music and I love his beats. It just fits. And after the fact, I'm listening to it again, and I'm like, oh, I missed that, and it, like,
He was taking
he's
shots,
a
dog.
phenomenal artist, phenomenal.
Yeah.
Yeah. But Cash, I know you want your moment.
He was shooting at the industry hardcore. He was shooting at the industry hardcore. That's what was cool. But to see that he is part of the industry is the problem. Can you make it that's as big as it goes, huh? Okay.
Well, because you made
hold on
it
then. No, just
IT.
wait. Let me pull it up. Just let me pull it up because I want the
Really?
full screen so they can see
Really?
the actual clip. It was great.
This
It's
is what you
gold.
sent me.
Just zoom in on it.
No, I know, but it's little. Mine's gonna take up the full
Zoom in
screen.
on it.
It won't work that way. I'm gonna have to expose my messages, and no, I'm not doing that.
Here, I got it. I got it right here. All right, let me see. I thought I had it. 1 second.
You thought you had it. You thought.
Yes.
Come
I
on,
thought.
man.
I'm sorry. I'm getting used to this
Is the
computer. You know what the lady
atmosphere
said?
away? We just
You-
explained that.
You heard what the lady said, bro.
I have a final question for everyone. Do you want
Go
me
ahead,
to
ask
do
the final
that?
question
And
while
then-
I find this.
Okay, so what's next is really the question. Russo, I've done your speaking class. It's excellent. What are you up to?
Just that. So I do the speaking classes. I know it sounds funny coming from RFK Jr. right now, but I do free speaking classes Wednesday night. I do keynotes on using your voice, overcoming failure, stuff like that, and finding more events to MC. But if you wanna take a free class, it's a lot of fun. It's like Toastmasters on steroids. You go to doubledownspeaking.com. With that said as well, Be the Change continues. I'll still keep doing little spot videos, and Cash is working on streetlights and finding different ways of actually creating positive change. I just believe right now, we won on November 6th and January 20th. And I want to see where the cards fall. I want to see where, play it where it lies, see what the administration does. I think it's been the most epic first month of a presidency in history. It's unprecedented what's happening. And I just don't believe there's anything I can do anymore politically as a mass whole, which is why what I can do is affect the day-to-day lives and go back to the original concept of Be the Change, which is our politicians only mean so much from this point forward. Whatever happens internationally, globally, nationally, politically, governmentally, the only thing that I can control is myself and the people that I'm able to engage with on a one-on-one basis and make them transform their ability to speak and their ability to show up in confidence with their family, with their coworkers, with their loved ones. So that's what's important to me now. And I do paid classes that are 8 weeks long. I've had some of the people that follow me have gone through it, and it's been a lot of fun. We actually have a new one starting in a couple days. In about a week, and I have a couple spots open if anybody wants to be a part of it. But what I care about now is the ability to help people find their voice. And that voice doesn't just mean speaking on stage. That voice means self-confidence and becoming a better person because they know how to properly use their voice. So find me on Instagram at Anthony Michael Russo. And then doubledownspeaking.com is where you register for the free class.
Cash, same question to you.
What was the question?
What's
next?
What's next? Yeah, what are you up to?
Same thing that I've been doing is just trying to get on stages and inspire people, enlighten people, educate people, and just share my story and my vision about unity of what I want to see within the country, in the communities. Also trying to uplift communities through the charitable work and just bringing people together and and creating content, tons of content. I really have been taking my editing real serious, as you're going to see this video that I did, trying to put some of the things that I learned how to do together. I've been taking my editing, trying to take it to the next level. The next goal for me is to get a good camera, because you'll notice you probably won't notice, but I notice the edges are choppy because the quality of my image isn't. I've just been learning a lot of nerd stuff when it comes to editing, and so that's me. That's what I want to do. And then ultimately, the number one thing is stay being a great father. I keep on trying to be a better dad, like do cooler stuff with the kids and hang out with them and inspire them above all things, because I'm trying to create like the next president of the United States And I got enough kids. It's like playing a lottery. That's why I had so many. It's like one of them's going to be great. You know, I'm going to get a winning number. So hopefully all of them are. But I know for sure I'm going to get one.
Dude, you can back Congress at this point. Like, that's what you're going to be doing.
Yeah.
Casey, same question. What are you up to next?
Lots of things. That's a little bit about this show, but Mondays, we're talking about doing Doge breakdowns, you and me. I really love that idea. Taking Doge and everything that they're going to be doing and tearing apart the government and the excessive spending, breaking that down. We're going to start doing that on Mondays. Tuesdays will probably be my bill breakdown shows that I'm going to start taking and giving you guys the walkthroughs that I've done before. Not a whole lot. Wish I did more. But we're going to go through and show you the problems in these bills that everybody's trying to expose, trying to just pass without you even knowing. Fridays, I'm always in for the game show. All the time. The game show, I don't care. Like that is so much fun. If you guys haven't tuned into the game show yet, it's evolved. It started with a Real Libertarian, then it's turned into Rhino Hunters, and now it's Are You Smarter Than a Politician? And it is hilarious. Emily, you will slaughter everybody on the game show. You need to be coming on. Because when we're talking about that, it's hilarious. And I look forward to the future. That's where, when we were all talking about this is not the end. You're not going to stop seeing us. It's to bring us all to, you're going to see us more after this. And I look forward to getting into more, to bringing you guys the knowledge and the stuff that I see in the government that a lot of people don't.
Emily, same question. What are you up to next?
Well, I'm going to be working on my Master in Political Science. I do have a full-time job now, so that's been nice, keeping me busy. It's not to do with politics, but it's kind of nice to do something different. Riding horses, I'll be traveling. I have an upcoming trip to El Salvador, and I'm hoping to plan a trip to Saudi Arabia this year. So be trying to do some of that, still not as much traveling as I used to. And then hopefully jumping on these guys' shows from time to time so I can get my dose of ranting about politics.
Excellent. Yeah, so let's watch Cash's video.
All right, Casey, you pull it back up, man. It won't let me share my screen over here because I'm on a different browser.
Go back to this stuff. Like,
I sent you the longer one, but it's taking forever to send to you.
Fine. We're going to go back through this again.
This is why your show got canceled, FYI.
That's true.
Okay, here we go. Cash, do you approve or no?
Go for it.
Is the white man the cause of all your problems? You sick of being in chains? You sick of getting whipped across your back? Are you tired of them putting you on the chopping block? Have you read White Rage? If any of those things are true, I got the solution. Go back to Africa. Just kidding. You're not from Africa. You're from America, and so are your ancestors. But here at Cash Solutions, we have a surefire way to get you out of chains. Ready? I'm going to take you in to the time machine. It's like, ain't no time machine. You're in the 21st century. We're going to sit you down with a psychiatrist. They're going to ask you why you feel this way. You're going to find out what media you've been watching, what books you've been reading, such as. And then we're going to bring you back to reality and help you understand. You live in a time when none of those things are happening. None of those things are true. In fact, you have all the same rights and privileges as everybody else. But if that doesn't work and all else fails and you still are in your psychosis, well, right now we're implementing mass deportations of everybody that's not really from this country. And if you feel like that you are oppressed in this country, we're going to send you on a one-way trip to any country of your destination that has allowed their illegals to come into our country.
That's great.
That's awesome.
That's artistic expression right there.
That's funny as hell. Why'd you make it wide angle?
No, that's because he sent it.
It just went through, Casey. The real one went through.
Yeah, that's the message I got next.
Do you have it 16:9 also?
What do you mean?
No.
Oh, no. I created it. I was going to only upload it to X and YouTube. But if you noticed in the video, there is a frame. when you're editing videos, you have to make sure that anytime you do a frame, you have to delete the part where there is no frame. And I thought I did it and I didn't. That was the one frame that I missed, that it went black. So I'm like, okay, I got to go back. That's why I didn't re-release it back out, because I put it on X and I had to take it down once I noticed that. Because I'm like, this is your big reveal of showing them how good you got with editing. And here you are missing a frame. So I had to take it down.
That's funny as hell.
Was it good? It wasn't offensive, right? It was just.
Oh, it was hilarious.
Right.
If you did that tall, that'd be a super viral clip on Instagram.
You think so?
Yeah.
I'm gonna do it right now. I can reframe it instantly with DaVinci Resolve. It has the AI reframe. It's amazing. If you're not using DaVinci Resolve and you're a content creator, I don't know what you're doing. It is literally the best software to edit on. Just saying. I'm not sponsored by them, not yet. As I get better, I will be.
Cash and Russo, can you touch on this bottom topic, please?
Mods, thank you for all you have done as well over the years. 100%. I got some dope mods. My mods are amazing, and literally they make my life a hell of a lot easier. And once I make the big bucks, I'll be able to break them off again. So that's what I'm looking for with trying to grow this thing. And we're getting there, man. We're getting there. I'm able to do some nice things sometimes, but my mods, bro, they're the ones that keep this chat going on YouTube. Literally, they're in the chat constantly more than me and sharing everything that needs to be shared. I would be lost without them. And I wouldn't know how to run my show now if I lost them. Like if they were like, hey, Cash, I can't mod no more. I'd be like, hold on, wait, please reconsider. Don't leave. You know what I'm saying? Because they make life that much better, and they show. I get more compliments on my mods from the people that watch the show than I get about my show, which is great. It's like I only stay for the mods. That's what I hear a lot.
Before you go, because I don't know if we have a whole lot of mods to talk about, but
I don't even have any mods.
Yes, we did. Yes, we did. Truth Seeker. Cash, do you feel that same way?
I love Truth Seeker, man. I love Truth Seeker. He might have he can't comment no more. I blocked him from being able to comment. I blocked him on all the accounts that he had that was commenting. I just blocked him because I'm like, now you're just getting too offensive. He got in his feelings one day. I'm like, I wasn't even talking about this brother, and he just started going on a tirade in the comments after I was off the live. So I'm like, bro, what is your deal, bro? You need to chill. He's like, no, Nick, you what? Start going on. I said, listen, bro, I'm not gonna go fisticuffs with you. I'm not gonna argue with you. You're done. And I just blocked him off the page. I'm like, yeah, create another one, and I'll block that one too. From now on, every time I see you on here, I'm gonna block you. But I love you, and I'm praying for you.
Did you ask him where Elon Musk touched his vagina?
No, I didn't get to ask him that question. Yo, you just inspired me, Russo. I'm about to re-edit this real quick, and I'm about to put it out and see if it does do good. I was just scared to put it on YouTube, on Instagram and all that, because I don't want people to get all like, oh, Cash is being offensive. So I'm like, no, I'm not. I'm really just as funny, and it's actual truth. It's like, yo, you're from America, bro. Get with it. You know, so yeah, I'm gonna redo it right now.
But we don't have specific names because it's been a while. But there were a lot of mods that we had back in the day, especially in the early times of when Cash went away, that we had to step in, and it helped keep the chat moderated. We were able to keep things under control. Nothing got out of hand. That's how we were able to have civil discussions, and you can't do it without them. And that's the important part, and why I wanted to highlight it is because some of these conversations are touchy. We were able to control ourselves. People in the chat, it's easy. You're behind a keyboard. You can throw out whatever you want. But if we don't have moderators like you guys, it really gets off the handle real quick. And so big shout out and thank you to all of you.
Hey, is that your Rasmussen? Is that they related to you?
Yeah, that's my dad and my stepmom. Oh,
hey, what's up, Ma? How you doing, Dad? What's going on, man? Appreciate you guys being here. I'm going to do it. I'm going to put it out just because y'all put that amazing comment with the hearts. I love seeing hearts in the comments.
Oh, Jesus. Here comes the hearts.
I do. I love seeing hearts in the comments. It's like one of my favorite things to see. It's like, oh, I feel the love, you know?
Great. We're going to have emojis now. No longer words. Welcome to the millennials. Cash is bringing it.
Yeah. I found out that Champagne is actually a millennial. Oh no, I'm a millennial.
You
right?
Are
and she's a Gen Zer. She's on the cusp.
Yeah, correct.
And I'm like, babe, you're not a Gen Z. Don't say we will get a divorce right now if you're a Gen Z. I'm kidding. No, she's dope. She was mad too. She was like, I'm definitely not no Gen Z. I'm more of so you was raised by millennials, so you're technically a millennial. Don't believe the hype.
Real quick, who was our mod? They're talking about Nikki Dalrymple, I'm assuming, right?
Nikki.
Oh, yeah, we're talking about
Nikki.
Nikki, like Nikki.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Greek Nikki.
Love Nikki. I haven't talked to Nikki.
I talked about Nikki in the beginning. She was never a mod. We didn't have mods back then. She was just somebody that helped out with all we were doing.
I had Rex. Rex was my mod.
We did have Rex. There were a few, because Russo, there's no way we were able to do this as soon as he stepped away. Like we needed other people in, and some of them I won't name because they caused a very big issue between us and Hawk and others. But that's just what happened.
I don't remember. I mean, the only person that really stands out helping was Nikki. Nikki was great. So
I'm gonna throw out there, Russo didn't steal no money from me, and he's not a racist. All right, let me just clear that up right now. Russo did not steal any money from me. It wasn't him. It wasn't Russo.
Big
Okay?
definitely wasn't on me.
So let's just clear that up. Wrong
Anyway,
guy.
I have an innie. The person that did has an.
Did you just say you have an innie?
I have an Audi. The person that did has an innie.
Okay. Free, how did you want to end this, man?
Well, I mean, we got a lot of great answers from you guys. I'm very excited about your future. As you know, I'm a huge fan of all of you. And, you know, I see this as a rebirth, you guys elevating your messages, taking it further and wider than it's going right now. So I'm really excited about your futures. And, you know, I'm honored to be a part of the history of this. I'm honored to be your friends. You know, this has just been absolutely great. I think you guys, you know, filled such an important role in a time where there wasn't a whole lot going on, especially in the areas that you guys were, you know, going through. I saw all these great comments in the chat, and, you know, you guys provided the news to so many of us with a point of view that you couldn't find anywhere else. And I'm excited about you guys continuing to do that. So once again, congratulations. Huge fan of all of you. And, you know, really excited to watch you guys continue to blossom and see what's next.
Love it. Do we want to let people know that we have what I realize is the Streetlights shirt is not on the website yet. But besides
What do
that,
you mean the Streetlights shirt is not on the website?
I can't find it.
Do you not? Oh, let me guess. You're using a Mac?
Yeah.
You that means you don't know how to use a computer? Because I'll pull it up for you. Do you want me to pull it up and share
It's
with
not.
everyone?
Is it on the Be the Change section?
No. Streetlights is under cash and Streetlights. But if you're talking about the Streetlights Unity movement of Unite Don't Fight, here it is.
So confused.
Yeah, you would be because you use a Mac.
Is it not on the Awake Not Woke store page?
What is this? This is the one you're talking about, or are you talking about 3.0?
No, that one.
No. Is this on a website? I think it is.
I don't see it.
Because it's right here.
I like it.
I don't like it when mommy and daddy fight.
No, guys, we just released so many shirts. Like, thank you, Russo, for calling it out. We should touch
That's
on.
dope.
We have a crap ton of shirts. You have the filters of Wake Not Woke, Be the Change. Men's new 2 is just all the tags. SUM is Streetlights Unity Movement. So if you want to come in here, you get the men's and women's shirts, or unisex if you want to be able to not have the fitted women's shirts. These are all of the shirts that we have now just posted this last weekend. Everything is on the website right now.
Bet.
I cannot find the Streetlights stuff.
Let me grab some crayons. I'll draw them on some paper. I'll take a picture.
If I can't find it, nobody else will. So I'm just telling you.
There's
Do you have the
on the website? Right.
Do you
on
have the Bernie Sanders onesies? That's what I'd like.
Oh, geez.
Okay, so let's play this game. I went to awakenotwokestore.com.
Share your screen. I'll walk you through it.
Just so to answer the questions in the comments, on Tuesdays, I'm gonna do it. I'll do another show because I think Casey, you're starting one on Monday, right?
We have Doge. Mondays is when Doge will be happening. I don't know if it will be this Monday, but Free and I need to organize that.
Tuesdays, I'll be talking politics. Tuesdays is my political day. I'll be on here talking politics. And I guess I'm gonna keep the Truth to Set You Free going. If you're watching on Truth to Set You Free, I'll be posting the content on there is what I mean. As well as my YouTube and everything else. So all the pages that you're watching right now will still be active.
So you gotta wait now woke, you gotta Be the Change in Pure Blood. It's not in any of those sections.
No, they are. They're just buried with everything else. Go to new releases.
I guarantee you they're not.
Slow your roll. Slow down. Go to new releases right there on the main page. Dude, you and Emily, my wife, have like click view all right there. There you go. This is all the new stuff, new releases.
There you go.
There's the 3.0. And then there's Streetlights Unity Movement 2.0.
Okay. So there's no section for it.
Why would there be a section for it? Because Streetlights Unity Movement, hang on, go back, go all the way down.
There's a section for it down here.
Correct. Keep going.
I feel what Russo means, though, Casey. It should be, they've gotten used to the page and having the tab.
No one uses those tabs at the top.
Everyone uses those tabs at the top.
No one
use those tabs at the top. It's convenient.
You people are special.
Did you hear what he
mean by you people?
You people. So anyways, we've got a lot of new shirts. There's also some new political ones, including
you're in Wait Not Woke. So if you go to clothing and filters,
I got it.
No, you don't. You're on the wrong side.
What? Clothing and filters?
Oh my hell. And then you can scroll down to new 2, and that will be everything that's new.
Oh, you can find it by scrolling around. But anyways, you got We Are America, We Are So Back, baby. Unburdened AF. Let's see, Unburdened AF. What else? Those are the new ones. And then if you go to Be the Change, there's some new ones on there too.
Yeah, you can sort that by newest to oldest. There you go. And then
that's the easier way to do it.
I love it.
So here's a bunch. And if you want to buy the woman's sizes, you better be the actual size to buy the woman's sizes. I would prefer you buy the unisex, because very few people fit into the woman's sizes. Let's be clear. But we have them on unisex, and I'm not letting people send them back. I will find you at your house, and we will start a workout program. Anyways, moving on.
Wow.
All right,
Ash, you wanna say something? Oh, anyways, guys, this was a fantastic show. The important part that we wanted to make everybody understand: truth is ending, but we're still going to be doing content where you're going to still see us everywhere. That
Truth
is not
Tuesdays. Truth Tuesdays
is ending.
Truth Will Set You Free will still be here. There'll still be content on those pages.
Yes.
Correct. Well,
I got to get better at posting my stuff on there, dog. I suck at that. I suck at posting on the Streetlights page. I've been trying to do the daily devotionals, like you said, Russo.
Political content on the Streetlights page.
Yeah, I can.
Not with the 501c3.
We just talked about this, Cash. No political stuff on Streetlights.
No, I didn't. I said I've been doing my daily devotional stuff on
daily devotional.
Streetlights. Yeah, daily devotional. But my stuff for Truth to Set You Free, I need to go ahead and just, I don't know. I got to upload it to my phone or something. No, I can do it.
If
I know how to do
it's good stuff, add me as a collaborator, which will help your reach.
All right, I got you.
On the Instagram stuff.
I'm just going to start tagging you on everything, but never accept it.
I do. If you send me a collab, I add it. Do the collaboration to Truth Will Set You Free page, because that'll boost your reach.
Gotcha.
Anyway,
do it.
Whatever.
Doge is going to be on all these pages.
Yeah, guys. We're gonna have Doge. Like, a lot of that is free, and it's gonna be mostly on X, but I'll make sure we do it on Truth pages. So Facebook and YouTube on Truth pages, you'll be able to get it. We'll be on there.
Sweet action.
Where do I sign up for Russo's class about how to use Internet Explorer on a Mac?
You mean Netscape Navigator?
I'm on Chrome. If you don't see a navigational issue with that, you are high on Mountain Dew.
The tab would be great, right at the top. Just
thank you, Cash.
I'll fix the tab. That is my bad, but I will fix it.
I can't believe you just admitted that, Casey. That is so big of you. Look at that's a big step. Look at that's what I mean about you blossoming and growing, dog. You're doing it.
Well, I have to talk to the people that don't understand how to use the internet, and so I'm like, okay,
You have a superior intellect, Casey. It's not our fault that you were born with a high IQ. Okay.
We have 0.1% between Cash and Russo that don't know how to use websites. That's okay. It's
I,
cool.
I guarantee you, I'm not alone on that one, Princess.
He's not.
All right,
guys, this was
Emily.
awesome.
Do we give a final words from Emily? Did I miss? That?
No, we need to do that.
I will say the one thing I have learned from this show is to repeat Casey, don't trust the government. And I trust the government even less after seeing just exactly how they're spending our tax dollars. I knew it was bad, but it's worse than expected. So not really looking forward to filing my taxes this year, but don't trust the government, and looking forward to seeing you all soon. Hopefully jumping on Cash or Casey shows.
Yes. I got to ask a question to you guys.
Yeah.
What's the colors? Like, you know how the party is red for Republicans and blue for Democrats. What's the libertarian color?
Yellow.
Is it really?
Yellow, gold. Yeah.
That's amazing. So I got the do-rag for it. I was like, I got to go get a do-rag to match when I'm talking about libertarian stuff. You see, today we was doing Truth to Set You Free, and it's mostly conservative. So I rocked the red do-rag. I wore the red. And when I talk about liberal stuff, I wear the blue. But yeah, now I'm gonna rock the yellow one I got a lot more. This is good. Like this.
That's how you decide what you're gonna wear that day.
I literally match my do-rag with my clothing just to make sure it fits the vibe of what we're gonna talk about. It's my thing.
Can I wear a do-rag?
Yeah, anybody can wear. You ain't never seen Malibu's Most Wanted? It'll go work perfect for you. It'll be all right. Call you B-Rad.
I'm a libertarian, so I wear a don't rag. So
I like that.
Don't rag on me.
I'm gonna take that. Don't rag. I'm wearing my don't rag.
All right, guys. We have to end it the normal way. I'm going to leave it to you two. Please do it right.
Oh my God, he's here. We got to do this. You ready?
Who's here?
You ready?
Oh,
Are you ready, bro? All right. Unite. Don't fight. Be a street light, because only you could be the change you wish to see in the world. And when you get too stressed out, you got to remember to pray, America, because without God, everything falls apart, and that's a fact. Whoa! Yeah, brother.
Oh my Jesus.